With a belly full of tacos, it's time for the Dirt Life Show.
What's up, guys? Mint 400 recap number 2. We had so much stuff to talk about yesterday. It took a couple hours, but today we're going for number 2. It's going to be pretty awesome, man. We got tons and tons of cool people lined up for tonight. The mini moto guys, CJ Cromwell. I got to remember the other guys' names. They call him Felix. I think his name is Jason. And also Tom. Those guys rode the mini bike. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was epic. So Felix is going to join us right now. Let me finish doing the intro, Felix, and we'll get you in here. We're also going to talk with Justin Smith from Shock Therapy. He's going to be calling in, talking about his races. Ruslan Greasehands and John Perleski of Dune and Destroy going to call in. Dustin Jones and Dustin Hendersons of S3 are going to call in. Adrian Orellana and Manny Boy. Both of those guys are going to be chatting with us a little bit too. And none other than Matt Martelli, the I don't know what his role is, but the guy who runs Mad Media and the Mint 400. So it'll be awesome to talk with him because he has so much good stuff to say about it. Let's start talking with the mini moto guys, dude. They got such a cool story. I got to get a little bit of info on them. We're at IMG Motorsports, a little PRP section right here. And this is Scully. Just give you a little introduction. The reason I brought him in was because this is pretty much how most of us feel after the Mint 400. And I didn't even ride, so I can only imagine what these get, guys. What's up, RJ? All right, let's bring these bad boys in here. Looks like we got CJ, and then we'll get Felix in here, and Tom will join us when he has a second too. So, what's up, dude?
What's going on?
All right, so Jason, they call you Felix. Is that what they call you?
They do.
Oh, right on, man. Well, so we got CJ Cromwell and Felix on. Both of you guys, dude. I got to tell you, man, this guy right here sitting next to me, we call him Scully here at IMG Motorsports. This has got to be what you guys feel like after riding a mini moto on the Mint 400.
Absolutely. I'm still in my truck office right now. I'm not even home yet.
You haven't even made it home yet.
No.
So I'm going to try to pull up a couple pictures and show them on the screen here. So if you guys haven't seen it, these guys did an insane job. They rode this little mini bike. Give us a little bit of info on the bike, and then we'll start getting into it.
So basically, it's a bone stock out of the box Coleman mini bike. Just like you get at Tractor Supply. There's absolutely nothing done to it. Loctite bolt. That is it.
What engine does it have in it?
It's 196 cc. Basically,
all right,
average lawnmower, you know.
Dude, that is so insane. We're gonna get Tom on here now too. That is so insane, dude. Like, I give you guys so much props for doing it. But before we talk about your race, I kind of want to go into the backstory a little bit and talk about, I guess, kind of how you guys ended up going to ride this little mini bike. So last year, there was some notorious pictures that were online of a Yamaha YXZ. Can you bring them? Oh, yeah, there it is. Going end over end through a big-ass loop section that they had at the Mint 400. And that was you guys, right?
Yeah, that was me and Tom.
Dude, that's insane.
Tom was in the passenger seat, and I was driving.
I'm trying to get Tom on right now, but for whatever reason, it's not accepting him. Tom, if you're listening, make sure you have your Instagram app updated. Dude, that was so insane, like watching all that. And then, so CJ, you were telling me while you're driving on the road home that you couldn't. Oh, there's Tom right there. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So we were just kind of talking about CJ being on the road and then giving me some of this information. And you guys didn't have enough time to repair the YXZ, so you said, fuck it. We'll just ride a mini bike in the Mint 400.
It's actually originally Tom's idea.
Dude, how'd you come up with that idea to do that, dude? Was it over beers or what?
Coleman Power Sports is actually really cool to us, and they hook us up with a lot. We do a lot of mini motos and stuff like that, and enduro races, and that's usually what we use for pit vehicles. And that was the only thing running at the time, so why not, right? Racing's in your blood. You can't miss the Mint.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think a few other people that are watching this would probably be like, all right, yeah, you know what? We're going to probably call it.
No, there's no giving up. There's no giving up.
That's so sick, dude. So funny story is, like, I had no idea you guys were going to do it. I think you guys were trying to hang low key with the bike and, like, right?
So we were trying to get the car ready, and he came up with this idea like 2 weeks ago, I want to say. And we were kind of joking around at first, but we kept looking more and more into it, and it seemed more and more feasible the more we looked at reasons why we couldn't do it and couldn't find any. And he looked into how many people were registered, and it turns out there wasn't any for that class, which is unusual because, I mean, that's
which is the dirt bike 0 to 200 cc, right?
Right. Your run-of-the-mill 125 would be in that class, but for some reason there was none entered yet.
That's so insane.
We have a lot of crazy mini bike friends, and we did not tell them we were going to do it, and they're all mad at us because
taking advantage. Dude, taking advantage is the best way to put it, because your guys' mindset is so positive. Like, that's not taking advantage of anything except for your body, dude.
I feel like it's a good advertisement perspective to get the race team name out there. Like, hey, we have the heart. We're trying to do it. We just don't have the money.
Hey, I can tell you what, the social media push that the little mini bike has is much better than the Yamaha YXZ. How about that?
Yeah, for sure it is. It was funny, even in the pits when like we switched off riders and I was waiting for one of them to come in, we just hear everyone in the background talking about it. Everyone else in the pits for other racers are like, "Oh, where's the mini bike guys? Are they coming?
Yeah.
Where are they at? We have like interest. We're following them."
I even said it in the broadcast booth when we were talking about it. We had like the Pro Turbo race the Unlimited Trophy Truck race going on. Oh, Unlimited race, Unlimited Truck is what we're supposed to call it for the Mint. I was like, yeah, where are the little mini bike guys at?
just putting around in the back straight. It'll be a while.
So the funny story is, like, I was walking in to go to the booth and do my duties as the broadcaster, and I was walking past the BF Goodrich tent, like where everybody starts, and I'm cruising by, and I'm like, I don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden I hear like the little Jetson engine, like poop, 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 like cruising by. I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I whip out my phone and I get a little like sneak peek of you cruising. Did you take off first, CJ?
Yeah, I think
I saw you. I'm like, what the hell? And then so I'm like, it looks like there's a gorilla riding a motorcycle. And so
thank you.
I start filming, and I'm like, wait a second, that's a really little bike. Like, that's just a normal sized dude on a little bike. And then so I thought, I'm like, okay, it's just a course worker. Like, he's just being lazy, right? And then I'm like, no way, it's got numbers. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, like when we were coming up to the start line, they're kind of filtering the people coming out of the pits, and like a lot of spectators going up to the front line, and they all wanted to jump out in front of me and stop me from going. And then they noticed the numbers, and then they're kind of staring at me, not knowing what to say. So I just kind of rode past and went and got in line. They were just confused to know who I was.
No, dude, you're on a mini bike. Get off the track. You're in danger.
Yeah, no pit bikes on the course. Get out of here.
Oh, man. So all of that was just super cool to see. And all right, so tell me how like the idea came about between you three.
Tom, jump in this. This is all you.
So we're sitting over at a buddy's place, and we just got out of the desert a couple days prior. And we knew the YXC wasn't going to be able to be put together in time, and the timeline was just way too short. So we knew we had a mini bike from Coleman that they'd given us a couple months prior. Looked up the entries, and lo and behold, that was the perfect class that we had the ability to actually run. And talked to CJ, and I'm like, you know what? We can't not go back this year after what happened last time. So after we flipped the YXZ 6 times end over end, a couple of rotations in there. Yeah. So figured, fuck it. We have enough time. We have the ability and the know-how to be able to put this thing together in a short notice type thing. And bought the entry, got everything together, and refused to call it quits, and we had to go. So this was our option.
Dude, that is so funny, man. And then, so how did Felix get involved?
Well, he was also there, and we knew that he had the ability to ride 100 miles, no issue. We knew he had the stamina, the right mindset to be able to do this, and asked him, and he said absolutely. So he started doing preps the next day, and met us down in Vegas and put the whole team back together.
You guys started training for the event?
The three of us at some point have all done over 100 miles in the desert at some point. Tom's ridden almost the entire Mojave Trail on a mini bike during one of our events. I've ridden all over Death Valley. Jason Felix, he's done mini bike enduros and all over the country, really. So, I mean,
really? Okay.
Seasoned veterans with these little things. Like I said, Coleman helps us out a lot. But if you saw the junk cars, basically, they call it the Hoopty Cross, as part of the Gambler 500. Yep. That's basically our giant family of friends. And so we knew that we could get away with doing something stupid like this because all our friends are going to be there. So when it comes time to like, hey, we need someone to the pit, we need someone to run, get us something, do something. We have hundreds of people on hand, ready and willing. It's like our new family that we've grown into.
Yeah,
We always count on
exactly.
them.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it does. It takes a whole family or whole crew to be able to do this, no matter
Even for a
what
mini
vehicle.
bike.
Yeah. So what was the strategy going into it? Like, what were you guys thinking?
So originally it was 3 laps, and we figured there's no way any of us can survive doing more than a lap. So we figured we'll get 3 people, we'll get at least a lap each, and that'll be the best we could do and see what happens. And then right before the race started, I think a few days earlier, they changed the track, they changed the distance, and then they changed it to a Grand Prix style. So at that point, we're like, cool, now we can just switch out like every pit, and we'll just all ride 20, 30 miles at a time. And so I started, first pit in, we figured the bike's going to be demolished. We had a complete parts bike at each pit all together running so that we knew we had any part we could need if we had to rebuild it. Of course, the frame.
Dude, wouldn't it be nice if you could run a UTV program like that? Just
Right. I mean, if Yamaha or like anyone else wants to just throw us like 4 UTVs to just line up for parts, that'd be excellent. We'll take it. But we figured it's like 20 something miles or 30 something miles to each pit. Worst case scenario, the bike is completely demolished. You just pick up like the piece of the frame that still has the band on it and get walking. And you have it get back to the pits and we rebuild it. I figured we're going to rebuild every pit, and amazingly, it survived the entire race.
Yeah,
That's
we were ready to
one
carry that
thing that
thing
broke
30
was the
miles
foot
out.
peg.
That's insane. So what was your guys' plan, Felix? To just throw it on your back and walk out of there with it, or what?
Absolutely, whatever happened.
Dude, that's insane. Like,
I
okay, so
explicitly told him last lap out, it was a ton of miles on the bike already, and I was like, dude, this is how it's going to go down. We're at the pits now, and you're about to cross the finish line, but we're not going to cheat. We're not going to wait and do 1 lap. We're going for the second lap. So when you go out there, you get 23 or 25 miles. I don't care what it takes. If you're carrying something on your shoulder, walk and get there, and we'll fix it when we get there and get it back.
dude.
He's down. Felix always down.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so when you guys hear that, are you like, shit, I got to back down the pace, or I'm just going to go kill it?
No, it's just go. Let's go.
Let's just go. Yeah.
Go. Don't run out of time and go.
What's the pace like on it, Tom? Are you guys just like wide open going 10 or what?
Well, with the sand, you really couldn't be. You're not doing 20 miles an hour in the sand. The engine's bogging down. You're basically at full throttle doing like 10, 15 miles an hour at most. But the first lap, we had to worry about fuel conservancy because we were unsure what we'd actually consume, and the fear of like having to walk it 10 miles into the next pit to be able to refuel.
What's the fuel capacity? Like a half a gallon or something?
About 3/4 of a gallon.
Oh, dang.
So we were running close a lot of times. Coming into the pits, almost empty, like just a skim of fuel in the bottom of the tank. But for the most part, it's almost full throttle, navigating the sand, and being able to just push through. Obviously, stopping to help people along the way.
Those tires look pretty small to be able to go through the sand and the ruts and stuff.
Well, the upside is they're pretty wide. So they're able to sort of float on top of the sand and then skate left and right. So you're basically just aiming the bike the best way you can as it's just trying to move all over the track.
I mean, honestly, looking at these pictures, I mean, first of all, it's a badass picture, but she looks pretty factory. She looks pretty good, dude.
So it's bone stock. No modifications whatsoever. That's basically how it comes out of the box, bolted together with a little bit of Loctite to make sure it doesn't fall apart. Air it up. That's it.
What's the tire pressure that you guys are running?
We're running 3 psi in the back and about 10 psi in the front.
Dude, that's so funny.
That's not intentionally, by the way.
No, not at all.
The air pump didn't work.
Yeah, I feel you on that. That's hilarious. So, I mean, you guys got backups though, in case you guys run out of a bike, you can throw another one together. So Felix, what was your goal? Is to see if CJ took off? Were you second or was Tom second?
Second.
Say that again.
Tom was second. I came in third.
Oh, okay. So, give us a little bit more info on. Well, actually, you know what? Tell us when you took off, like how it was getting going, CJ.
In the beginning, coming off the start line. So it was just complete silence from the entire crowd. It's basically everyone's staring like, what are they doing? What's going on? Like waiting for the next real dirt bike. And So I kind of was like, hey guys, like, yeah, we're doing this. And then all of a sudden the crowd just starts roaring. They're like, no way, this is a joke. So I take off. I mean, I got like one hand on my hip, just waiting, be like a few minutes before I get to the first jump. And I hit the jump. I got like 6 inches of air, and then I hit some mud and almost fell like 60 feet into the race. And after that, it was. We take a little bit of a dirt road around the electric company, and then once we get off that, I figured at any second I'm going to get run over. I'm going to get clipped by the handlebars. I'm like head in a swivel, trying not to get hit in the elbows or knocked over.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of fast-ass bikes behind you.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to come any second. And to my surprise, I'm probably doing 18, 20 miles an hour, and they're doing like 25. And they're like, they pass me pretty slowly. I'm like, cool, all right. And I get hit in the face with a bunch of rocks, and I have to like turn and fight the dust. And then the dust clears. I go into the next corner, and there's the guy that just passed me laying on the ground in the sand. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up?
Oh, dude.
So I go past him, and I'm like, well, he's going to come any second now. It's like 3, 4, 5 minutes before he shows up, and then he comes past me again. Boom, lo and behold, next corner on the ground. And I'm like, wow, these guys are like falling a lot. I've never run moto before, and I didn't realize how much they actually fell down.
Yeah, those guys eat crap all the time, man. We were talking with Mitch from Warfighter yesterday, and he was saying that like the track was gnarly and you couldn't see a lot of the stuff underneath you, so you just tip over just randomly. All right, so you're cruising and you have to go 30 miles basically, right? Is there anything that happens in the meantime before you hand off the bike to Tom?
Realistically, it was pretty smooth sailing. I had promised some people that I was going to go live on Facebook while I was driving, and it's kind of one of the things that I'm known for doing. And I didn't have any service, unfortunately. So now I'm one-handed on the bike, over whoops, bouncing with my phone in my hand, trying to start Facebook, and it keeps telling me that I don't have good enough service. And I come up to the corner workers, and I'm like, oh, I just noticed there's one right in front of me. He's like, turn, go this way, this way. I shoved my phone back in my pocket and turned around the corner. I almost fell.
Thank God for that corner worker keeping you safe instead of trying to broadcast.
Straight into the woods. But then there was another spot. I came up behind. I don't know what kind of bike it was. It was probably one of the hooligan bikes. It was a big bike, and man, you could tell that bike was heavy. He was having a hard time in the soft sand, and my clutch was locking up. So anytime I slow down and go down to like 5 miles an hour, it was chugging like crazy trying to stall out. And so I couldn't take off in the sand because it's at like 200 RPMs with the clutch locked. So I was trying not to slow down for a corner, and he was right in front of me. So I caught up to him, and he went around the corner, slid and fell, and then I almost hit him. I almost rear-ended someone on a mini bike during a desert off-road race. So
that's insane.
To not run him over while the clutch is locked up, pulling me forward.
Dude. How much you want just hearing these stories, and I can't wait to hear Tom and Felix as part of this, but like just hearing these stories right now, like after we post this and people get shared and stuff, I can promise you that you're not going to be the only mini bike rider next year if you guys decide to do it again.
Oh, I know I won't be. Absolutely not.
All right. So you successfully make it back, or?
Oh yeah, 2 full laps, and then so it was Grand Prix finish. So we were on the second lap when the finisher finished. So we just had to bring it home. We made it all the way back.
Dude, that's crazy. And so you obviously brought it in so Tom could drive it or so ride it. So when you receive it, Tom, are you just like, holy shit, he made it?
Oh, no, I had full confidence in CJ being able to make it because we came out there and failure's not an option. I expected him to either ride it across into the pits or walking it. Like,
you guys got the military attitude. You're like, nope, failure's not an option.
Races suck.
So that was he passed off on the first lap. The finish wasn't until the second lap. We did 2 full laps.
Oh yeah,
dude, that's crazy.
So he passed it off to me, and then it was straight into a pretty winding course through the rocks, going over elevation, somewhat deep sand. Again, passing people, they'd pass me, and every time they'd pass, it's just keep going. Hell yeah, which is pretty cool.
Up the hills, are you just
pretty stoked to see us?
Yeah, that is super cool. I'm sure they're like cheering you on, like yelling and screaming when they pass by. Are you full tilt, like full hammer going up those hills? Because
you have to. You basically just navigate the rocks and like half throttle, and then halfway down some of those up and downs, just full throttle all the way to get back up.
The Dune and Destroy guys are pretty pumped on you. Some mini bike class for the win.
Yeah, that course is not meant for that kind of thing. I can tell you that.
It just looks like it's like a square peg round hole, right? Like you just look at it, and I mean, like for a trophy truck, you're like, yeah, it's made to go 150 miles an hour through the desert, right? So, and then you look at the mini bike, and you're like, nope,
Nope, just front shocks, hardtail rear. You felt a lot of it, and just the way the bike is, you can't really stand on the pegs and absorb the shocks or go through the whoops. So a lot of it was just eaten by our backs, and you felt pretty much everything you hit.
Did you guys wear padded shorts at least?
Nope, just standard required riding pants, and that's it. And about an
Jesus.
inch thick padded seat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you got to put some serious padding on there. Well, I give you guys so much credit. All right, so what was like during your race? Did you have any incidents or anything happen?
No, I think CJ is the only one to run into anything aside from fuel consumption.
Aside from you
that's
helping
when
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll talk about that. So you pretty much had a smooth first stint, and then you passed off the bike to Felix.
Yeah, as smooth as possible. Yeah, ran into a bunch of fuel issues, borrowed fuel on the course, helped out a bunch of people, and did what I could to make sure we all got through it.
Oh, that's rad.
Oh yeah, so I figured that we were the most suited for actually stopping to help people because ours wasn't a time important
sensitive thing. Yeah,
we just have to make it all the way through, and that's it. So yeah, I rode back into the pits. Surprisingly, made it on all the fuel, and then passed off to Felix, and he took it in for the second lap. So
how was that? How was that, Jason?
It was cool being able to cross the finish line for the first time to go through that. I took it pretty casual. It was actually really cool to experience like the support from all the other like bigger riders. I mean, they would go by and they'd be like, like knuckle.
Yeah, because you're going like 100 million miles an hour or 10. So they have time when you're going 10 miles an hour to give you knuckles while you're cruising by.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. I don't know if you know her, but Ashley Erickson says super proud of these guys. That's rad.
She's our photographer, by the way.
Oh, perfect. Hey, thank you, Ashley, for the awesome photography. I think that CJ sent me some of those ones over. I was showing them to everybody on the feed. All right, so you get the bike, and were you surprised that it was in such good condition?
Oh, definitely. I expected the clutch to be like much more weaker than what it was. I expected the chain to be stretched out, but I mean, whatsoever, the clutch had kind of like dialed itself in by the time I was riding it. And like I was very
that sounds. We're getting a little bit of missed audio from you. I don't know if you guys can hear that too, but yeah, it sounds like, comparatively speaking, the bike was in pretty good condition. Knowing that you guys are putting it through probably the worst conditions a bike like this has ever felt.
I figured.
I'm actually amazed that bone stock out of the box it survived. Like I said, we fully expected to rebuild it several times, and we just didn't at all. We didn't do anything. We just kept handing it off. Like someone would come into the pits and be like, "All right, what's wrong with it?" They're like, "Oh, I don't know. That was cool." I'm like, "Oh, all right, let's put gas in it."
That's insane. Our camp 99 said while working in the track, because he was working with the safety crew, while working trackside, we ended up in the Gonzo pit just in time to see them go through, and every single pit was losing their minds cheering for the dudes.
Yeah. Oh, so I forgot to tell you, the first pit, I had never gone out to the Gonzo pit the first time because I started the race. And so we sent Tom out there with a couple friends, and I thought for some reason he took his truck. Turns out Felix had his truck at the main pit. But when I came into the first pit, it's just every single team is yelling, cheering, waving. Yeah. I didn't even see my own guys. I drove right past them because just everybody's just cheering. I didn't even they're like, "Hey, go over here. Here, come here, stop." And I'm like, "Yeah, hi, yeah, what do you like?" And they just kept going. I got to the end, and I'm like, "Oh crap!" I had to turn around and go back.
As much as we're like having a laugh about this is literally what off-road racing and dirt life is all about, right? Like, is having the fun and doing this stuff. Like, when you think back before data, like Lawrence and all of these GPS and all this stuff, when you think back like about when the Baja was invented or started and when the Mint 400 was started, it was just dudes cruising through the desert doing exactly what you guys did this weekend.
Same amount of suspension and everything.
It's insane, right?
Yeah, I imagine that more people would be mad at us for making a mockery or something, but no, it was total support. Everyone thought it was awesome. They all thought it was rad. So it's really cool. Everywhere we went was a cheer and a high five.
Well, I'm going to ask all you guys this same question. So, first, Tom, what was the highlight of the event or the race for you?
I think the highlight of the race was coming into the pit after my stage and just everyone cheering and the positive support of actually pulling it off, and then having actually pulled off that entire lap or that section of the lap. It felt pretty good. I never doubted it for a second, but still very refreshing to actually complete it.
So when you said you felt pretty good, I felt like we were talking to like Ricky Carmichael on the winner stand right there. Yeah, man, my moto felt pretty good. I felt good out there, you know.
Yeah. Good lap. Felt real good about the times.
Yeah, exactly. My bike was running good. My trainer got me to the point where I needed to be to execute.
It's all about the pre-race diet. Is what it is.
What was the pre-race diet? Pork chops in a can or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I drove cross country to get there. It was fast food and truck stops.
Yeah, exactly. Beef jerky and or Slim Jims and a couple beers. All right, so the same question goes for you, Jason. Give us your highlights of the event.
I think the best watching the amusement of the track workers. Like every time they would just like have the cutest smiles on their face, and when they like whip out their phones and like film you, and then they were just like fucking giggling every single time you went by.
Dude, I can only imagine. Skylar just jumped on from, he was with co-piloting for Brandon Sims. Skylar, I don't know if you saw these guys out there on their mini bike, dude, but way to go to these guys. All right, so CJ, what was your highlight of the event?
I mean, there was a couple. First, starting off, this is the very first time anyone's ever raced mini bike in the mid 400. First pull start anything. And I'm just thinking, all right, we're doing the stupid thing. It's too far into it, so we can't give up. And taking off the start line, and I'm just going to try to not get hit. And then, lo and behold, I'm like passing people. I actually passed someone else before I ever got passed. And that was amazing to me. And I'm like, we're really like in this. We're really doing this. Like this might actually happen.
Do you get to like some of the horizons and like some of the top of the hills and you're like, sweet Jesus, I made it. We're good.
Yeah. No, honestly, the only time I got a chance to do that was when the chain fell off. The rest of the time is just entirely struggling with the bike. Like there is no blinking, no looking down, no taking your hand off the handlebars, just fighting the whole time. The only time I got to enjoy the view was when I broke the chain fell off, and I was like, wow, it's nice out here. Nice and quiet.
Is that when you got that beautiful sunset picture?
It is. If you look close, there's a chain dangling.
Dude, that's hilarious, man. So if you guys haven't seen it, please go follow these dudes. These dudes are doing some awesome stuff. I wish you could have raced the YXZ. That would have been super cool. But I think you guys, and you guys can get ready. And who knows, maybe you'll double class next year, right?
Yeah, it's Hapless Racing. We're putting the UTV together for Hapless Racing. And if everyone comes to follow, maybe help us out, show the sponsors that we know what's up. We're trying. And, we definitely want to do the mini bike again next year. We have a bunch of friends that are going to do it. So if we can do both at the same time, if not, Felix already jumped in and said he'll head up the mini bike part of the sector, and I'll do the UTV. And
mini bike team captain, Jason.
Tom, I can't say too much, but Tom's got another trick up his sleeve. So maybe you guys watch out for that if it works out.
Okay, cool. Well, keep us in the loop. Dirt Hoopty said, these guys are the real sportsmen from the Mint. I can definitely get along with that, dude. It's so super, super cool when you see stuff like that, right? Like, not just because you guys were nuts and not just because it was insane that you guys were doing it or anything like that. It's literally like the passion, right? Like, it's what drives you. You guys just wanted to go, right? Like, you couldn't bring the side by side.
I've been a spectator at the Mint before, and it's great to watch and it's fun, but after you've raced it a few times, it's almost depressing to just go there and watch. You got to be involved somehow. It doesn't matter how small. I mean, I don't care if you're riding a bicycle across the sand. You have to do something. You can't just watch anymore.
Hey, please don't ride a bicycle at the Mint 400 next time. I think we should definitely keep it mini bikes, and it sounds like you guys got.
I have bad knees. I'm not pedaling anymore.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Perfect. It sounds like you guys have a decent support mechanism from the manufacturer of that mini bike.
We're working on it.
It's more robust.
Yeah, they hooked me up with that actually as a birthday gift from me requesting one for a raffle for our gambler event. They help out the gamblers a lot. And so we lined one up for a SoCal event, and I was asking them for one for a raffle. They hooked me up, and while I was there at Long Beach picking it up, I was just talking to the guy that was working the docks, and he was telling me about the scratch and dent ones, and he figured out it was my birthday, and then we had a lot in common. He was going back and forth. He's like, "Hey, hold on a second, I'll hook you up," and he loaded 2 up in the truck. So I raffled the one off, and that gift was the one that we brought home in the finish.
Dude, that's so rad. Well, your photographer should definitely submit all of those photographs to the manufacturer, because that's pretty cool, dude.
I don't imagine that Coleman will get to posting anything about us anytime soon, because they're probably bombarded with messages. Everyone we know is
I'd imagine.
so they're going to take a while to get through all the messages for sure.
Dude, kudos to all you guys. We're going to have Ruslan, Grease Hands, and John from Dune and Destroy on in just a second here, and talk about their side-by-side race. But please, just really quickly, each of you guys go through in 15 seconds. Tell me what's next for you guys.
Oh, well, this ASAP engine rebuild, tug on a frame or a new chassis, and be back in the mint in March.
Perfect. All right. Tom, what's next for you, buddy?
About the same. Trying to get out there. Trying not to. Failure's not an option. Ride or die with this thing. And check out Ashley Erickson for off-road photography. She does Ultra 4 and Mid 400.
Oh, cool.
Excellent work.
Right on. Yeah. Comment when we post this video. Comment that and tag her on it. So, all right, Felix, what's next for you, buddy?
Personal training, so it doesn't kick my ass next time.
And a massive kidney belt. All right, dudes. Well, we really appreciate you guys, and just the off-road nature and the passion that you guys have to go out there and do it. We really love it. So keep up the good work, and we're going to make sure we keep following you. Hopefully some of these other guys can follow you guys too.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us on. This is fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it up. Thank you, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Dude, that is so rad, man. Really appreciate CJ, Tom, and also Felix, Jason, that just hanging out with us. It's rad that those guys go out there and do it. I'm going to show just a couple more pictures of what they did while we wait for Ruslan and John to come on the horn here. But look at that, man. That little tiny bike, under 2, so 0 to 200 cc's was the class. And those guys freaking knocked it out on one bike, dude. How rad. So cool. Look at how little the bike is compared to the other guys on their big bikes right there. All right, Ruslan, we'll get you on here, buddy. And Destroy. And Ruslan, we'll accept those guys. Man, you got a smile on my face super hard now. John, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Georgie, what up?
Ruslan, dude, were you the hills have eyes. I can't even see you, dude. Lurking in the dark.
Yeah.
You got a light in there or what?
No, I got this little light right here, but that's it.
Dude, creeping right now. All right, boys. Well, what's going down? So we got Ruslan, Grease Hands, and John Perleski from Dune and Destroy. You guys both crushed the Mint 400.
Thank you.
We had a lot of fun. Thank you.
We had a great time.
Ruslan's creeping me out right there, dude. They're sitting in the dark.
I know you can't even hear him.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah.
No, and we can't see you either, dude.
Yeah. Need some more light, homie.
There you go. Yeah, that's a little bit better. There you go. Okay. Good.
All the little girls want to see your little face.
Yeah, they like looking at your locks, dude. All right, John. So while Ruslan gets his life figured out, give us a little bit of a background on how this all came about. So Ruslan has a car that was built by IMG Motorsports, which we're at today. And I got Scully here. The reason I have Scully here, I don't know if you guys heard at the beginning when I was doing the intro, is because this is how most of the guys feel after the Mint 400.
I don't know exactly how I felt after the Mint 400. I don't know if you happen to see a picture of me in Ruslan's car at the Mint 400, but I felt like a freaking sardine, dude. I felt oh man, like his car is built for him and a person, maybe a little bit bigger than him. I'm 6'1" and like 250 pounds right now, so getting in and out of his Razor was brutal, and just getting in at the beginning, and then we blew a belt. that was like worst nightmare scenario for me.
Oh, because you got to get in and get back out. Hey,
Get out and get back in.
it looks like Kyle's saying that he needs to borrow your helmet for the Red Bull Sand Scramble this weekend.
Oh, perfect. I got you, boy.
Yes. So getting out to change a belt doesn't sound like it would be fun when you're packed in there like that.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So basically,
Radio telling me he was just like John over the radio was just like, did you have to blow a belt? You know,
I did. I was like, damn it, Ruslan, why'd you break a belt? Now I gotta figure out how to get out of this thing. So basically,
oh my God, this is the worst comment I've ever heard. Lewis and Christopher said, "I bet little John looked like Ace Ventura coming out for Rhino Bass." Okay,
thanks,
please.
Chris.
You can say cuss words on here, but that's way worse than any cuss words, dude.
Right?
Couple Seal Saver says a couple of studs right there, and also John. Just kidding. Yeah, great work at the Mint, boys. They did do pretty good. I mean, considering that the adversity that they faced was John trying to get into the passenger seat and change a belt, that's pretty awesome.
Dude, it was brutal. But it was so fun. Like, I can't thank Ruslan enough for the opportunity.
yeah.
Because it really was a good time. I think, you called me, 3 weeks before the Mint and asked me if I wanted to race? Right?
It's about 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
So Alexia leaving ended up. Yeah, that was my dad. He just threw a pillow at me. 3 weeks before the Mint, we didn't really have anybody to co-pilot because Alexia ended up bailing out for the Mint, and we really had nobody to choose. We went from like racer to racer, and they were all going to the Texplex race. And the first thing I thought was just like, why not John from Dune to Destroy? And my dad was like, will he fit in the car? And I was like, yeah, probably. And I called him John. He just like called me a little turd, and then he hung up. And he called me back and was like, all right, we're in.
Nice. That's cool. Hey, so let me just say something real quick. So 2 things. First, I'm going to Texplex on Thursday. So anybody that wants to go out to Texplex, please show up, say hi to me and all the other people. It's going to be a good time. And then second, I wanted to say, Ruslan, like we always mess with John, and John's good at, obviously messing with us back. But truthfully, 2 things. Like, he is actually super good at working on cars. He's super good at driving cars, and he knows how to actually navigate and stuff like that. So it wasn't like a bad thing at all to have him in the car, except for that he didn't fit.
No, it wasn't.
Thanks,
So I was personally surprised because when going out to the Mint, I already knew that John didn't really know how to navigate because he's never really been in a desert race. He said he raced like quads and stuff like that, but never really in like a razor and stuff like that, like navigating.
Right.
And I was surprised he was doing really good. That especially that time where we almost flipped like the last part of the lap. And John was like, oh no. He ended up doing it though. I was really surprised how good John was at navigating. Really surprised. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it is cool to see that. And one thing that I respect a lot about both of you guys is, Ruslan, you know how to drive a vehicle as well, but both of you guys are at, I don't know what you want to say, the beginnings of your guys' off-roading, racing, I guess you could say. Like, you're going to the biggest off-road race in America, the Mint 400, and
Right.
you guys have to have low expectations because you can't go out there thinking like everything is going to be peachy, right? Because
I was ready to win.
yeah, well, everybody's ready to win, but I'm saying, like, you guys know you're going to face adversity and things like that. So it's cool to see that you guys are going out there with a good attitude.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, the course was definitely against us on this one. And, there was a lot of things, like you're saying, that were against us for this race. Me trying to fit in the car was number one, so I the night before the race, I'm trying to take my PRP Bravo seat and fit it in his car where his PRP Delta seat is. And unfortunately, my Bravo wouldn't fit because his Delta, the frame, the mounts are welded in the spot. So
okay.
I was forced to use the Delta, which not many people understand, but the PRP Bravo seat is basically meant for someone with a 40-inch waist, right? It's a super wide seat.
Yeah.
The Delta's like a 34. So I legit squeezed my ass into that seat, and I had to have the seat all the way back in order to get in. And then once I got in, to keep the back of my head from smacking the cage, I had to reach down and slide the seat all the way forward while trying to put my harnesses on and get air plugged in and do my radios and do my helmet and everything else. Dude, it was gnarly.
I remember it taking a long time because when we blew our belt, I told John was going to have to pee himself, and he.
Oh God, no!
Oh,
that was a whole other thing.
Yeah, because
we got to staging late, right?
Yeah.
So
we was car and truck staging is what we thought, like the little gambler cars that were going up. So,
you're a little tiny bit bigger than the kids, John. The Dirt Life guys just sent this to us.
Look at my race suit. Look how tight my ass is in that suit.
Dude, those look like skinny jeans in a race suit.
Oh my God. That was freaking awesome. Yeah. Who sent you that?
The Dirt Life media guys.
So at the race,
Fucking Dylan.
Was at 8 a.m. So they didn't explain to us that side by side and car were the same thing. So we had to like rush to the start and like super late. We ended up getting there like late, so we didn't have time to do anything. So we just hopped in the car and got to staging.
Don't tell anybody this. So first of all, neither of us had our catheters on, our little pee-pee tubes, right?
That's the worst.
Russo had to pee his suit like 4 times throughout the race, and for whatever reason, he kept on telling me over the radio, "Well, hey, I'm peeing right now." Like,
yeah,
I don't want to know. and then, dude, I didn't even have. This is a hush hush. We didn't have time to put on our race shoes, so Rusin raced in Vans and I raced in Hey Dudes.
I mean, sometimes it has to happen like that, dude. But hopefully next time you guys are a little bit more on point and get to the track a little earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully. It was hilarious.
Yeah, and my favorite time that I was going to talk about was when we were getting out of the car. Like I was saying, John he just didn't want to pee in a suit, and I told him he was eventually going to have to pee.
Yeah,
and I didn't.
And I was telling John, I was like, I just peed, and he's like, "You're so disgusting," and and then we pull over because the belts, we have to get the belt changed, and as soon as I start getting the belt on, John was like, "I'm gonna go put on the belt."
Hey, way to give the co-driver duties to the driver and go handle your business, dude.
Yeah, dude. Well, I pulled the cover off. I got everything ready. I pulled all the strands of belt out. We had the secondary opened up, ready to accept the belt. And Rusum's already down there. And I'm like, "All right, bro, you got this. I got to take a piss really fast."
Hey, man, teamwork makes the dream work. So you guys got it done. All right, so we could joke like for days about this stuff, and clearly you guys had a good time. But give us a couple highlights and a little bit more of the racer commentary or talk about what you guys went through.
You want just about the race and everything?
Yeah, I mean, just give us a little bit of the professional portion of the event for you guys.
All right, so for one, the Mint absolutely killed it on this race. The Martelli brothers, they killed it. The whole weekend was a blast. From
the tech and contingency, the whole deal, huh?
Contingency stuff. All Thursday we had a blast hanging out down on Fremont Street with everybody, and then Friday, everyone was saying that it was behind, but they really weren't that far behind with getting the race going on time at I think it started at 10 is when everyone took off. So it seemed like it all happened, right when it needed to happen. And then Ruslan, like this kid, I know a lot of people want to talk about the jumps and the crashes and whatnot, and he does jump and crash all the time, but I love you, buddy. But the kid's a fantastic freaking driver.
Yeah.
And I'm firsthand witness to it. I had to sit in that passenger seat We didn't come close to rolling, not a single time. We did the jumps. We flew, and then the kid can corner. He is reading the terrain faster than I'm reading the Lowrance. The GPS.
How did the pace feel that you guys were at for you?
So the first lap, I was a little sketched out just because, first time that I've done a desert race in a long time. I haven't raced since 2006.
Right, and you don't have the steering wheel.
And I don't have a steering wheel in front of me, right? And that was on a quad back in the day. So it's been years since I've raced. And so we're ripping through washes and ripping through these giant whoops. And all I kept telling him throughout the whole race was, hey, especially that first lap, hey, dude, this is the first lap. Like, slow down.
Yeah.
Let's save the car. Let's finish this race. And then by the second lap, second lap, after we ran through pit A, is before we got to the second pit.
We're just looping around.
Yeah, we're just looping around. So after we got to pit A, Chris Leeming just happened to be there, and he was all, dude, you guys are flying. You're just about, a couple minutes off of first place. You're 2 miles behind first place. And so we're like, holy crap. And Ruslan, that obviously is like fuel to the fire for him. So he steps on it, and honestly, it got smoother. I felt like the pace that we were running after that first pit, we were on rails, and the car was handling perfectly. The kid just had it going.
IMG built you a pretty good car, Ruslan?
Yeah, so the thing I love most about that car is that car corners like no car does ever. Like I have like a Razor drift car, and it doesn't corner like that at all. It just like the way that car pitches, and it has you don't want body roll in the car, but it has the perfect amount of body roll to where you feel like you can come full speed and pitch the car and it'll still be fine.
Dang, that's cool.
At least that's what it feels like in the car.
Yeah, but that gives you confidence behind the wheel, dude.
Yeah, so no, I had so much fun in that car. We did have a couple problems going through all the way. So I actually started, and I think we had a bent rotor, and taking the car apart today, we found out that the studs that hold the tire on,
yeah,
all the rears were completely coming off.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
great
so
to know.
the mint definitely damaged it because pressing halfway through the race, the brake was literally slobbing. So I had to pump the brake before coming into a corner. So
you could hear them too.
Oh really?
They were pissed.
I think it honestly made us faster. Because we
didn't have any brakes.
We weren't able to slow down. Yeah. So we were sirening this Volkswagen little bug, and I go to hit the brakes, and I end up tapping his rear bumper. And John was like, "He's stopping!
I know. That was the only thing that part of the race. Once it got dark and super dusty, oh my god, you could not see. So Ruslan is, he is a professional, dude. He gets right on people, and I'm on the siren, I'm on the horn, and if they don't move, obviously you're allowed to give them a little push,
yeah,
a little bump, and
not vintage cars though.
Not vintage cars. However, with that, it wasn't on purpose. And Ruslan, we couldn't tell the guy was slowing down, so he comes up right behind him, and we're so in his dust that he pulls over, and Ruslan pulls over with him.
Yeah. I couldn't see.
Yeah, I was like, he's pulled over. Go to the right.
Dude, you guys should have had a GoPro or something capturing all the audio.
I know.
Audio, that would have been way cooler.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Hey, and so actually, just a shout out real quick. Richard HBR Harding and I are working on all this stuff, so we're going to get you some cables, and we're going to get that thing dialed for your setup.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
It'll be pretty rad. All right, so you guys are going through. The Mint 400 is no joke, dude. You're usually in the car between 8 and 10 hours, whatever the actual time frame is that you finish in. Can you give us, John, first you, and then after Ruslan, you tell me the same thing, but give us eventful or milestones that happened during the event.
Milestones, I guess. What was eventful? I mean, the whole race honestly was eventful. It's one of those things, like, you can't help but reference movies like Dust to Glory, where they're saying, it's a 24-hour plane crash, and it's, just this beautiful thing once it comes towards an end. And Rusin, is really funny. We got to one spot on the very last lap. We're probably 15 miles outside of the finish. And Ruslan kind of looks at me and he starts talking to me. He's like, last year when I raced this race in my RS1, he's like, I actually kind of stopped and cried right here.
Whoa.
Because I made it. I knew that I had made it. And that kind of hit me. And then, I started kind of thinking about it. I'm like, oh man, we've been in this car together for, we really did the Mint 300 because it was 3 laps for our class, but for still almost 10 hours or about 10 hours, and we're both dying. I'm in a ton of pain. My back was killing me. My ass was killing me. I know his ass was killing him, and he had a little bit of diaper rash just from peeing himself.
Hey, so hold on real quick with that statement. As you were talking about Dust to Glory, so this image is actually a car going through the dust or through the lake bed right here, and this is what you guys were in as well. So you guys made it seem like that. And when we were commentating, Ricky Johnson actually said, he's like, that's exactly what I picture it looking like when we go to heaven. And so, like, what you're talking about when Ruslan pulled over and got all emotional, I feel like there's a vibe right there.
Oh, it was a whole vibe, when we finished and we got up on the podium, it was hard to
get out of the car.
Everything. Yeah, well, that too. Just hold back your feelings, it really is an awesome feeling to finish. It's like, I don't know, it's spiritual. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
It's something that you just can't explain it. It's freaking badass.
Well, first, yeah, dude, 100%, because it's like you accomplished something, right? It's like a goal that you reach, but the whole time it's like all your emotions, right? Because you have so much adrenaline, you have so much anxiety, you have so much anxiousness, and then all of a sudden everything is just lets loose, and then you're finished, and you're like, no freaking way, and then you just stand there and you're like, yes, we did it. Yeah. Is that kind of go ahead?
Adversity.
Yeah, exactly. And just think about it, though. There was, 300 people or so that raced them in 400, and all of them had that same feeling. Oh, dude, I'm at IMG, and there's a raccoon just walked by. Literally just walked by outside the door.
What the hell?
All right, Ruslan, so what was going on in your head? You start out that race, and what milestones do you have in your head? Is there, one thing where you, saved it, or you've gone faster than you ever have before, or just ripped a corner? What did you have that was meaningful for you?
Definitely when me and John were, at least it's kind of after crossing the dry lake bed, so it's still flat land, but it's not a dry lake bed. We were at least going 72, 73 miles an hour.
Dang.
And yeah, and the car on the dry lake bed, the car was kind of topping out 75, 76, because it is a desert car and it's heavy. And going through that little, because once you go through that flat land, you start heading into rocks. So when me and John heard that, we were just off of first place in timing.
Yeah.
We started stepping on it through the rocks. And we were still going. The lap before that, we were at least going 45 through the rocks.
Dude, Lake Elsinore brings everything in. Now a Class 1 car just passed by. And so you're going through the rocks?
So we're going through the rocks first lap at 45. And then going through the rocks this time, we're at least going 57, 58 miles an hour through the rocks.
Whoa, what was the difference?
We just...
Confidence.
We were being so careful, and then when we heard we were getting closer to first place, we just started flooring it through the rocks and stuff like that. So John over the radio was like, "We're gonna go fast, but we're gonna watch out for rocks."
Oh, okay.
Trying to go as fast as possible through the rocks, and we ended up holding first place for a good amount of time actually until we blew our belt. which set us down to 5th, and we ended up catching back up to 3rd. We held 3rd for a decent amount of time until we actually had to pull into pits because our exhaust fell off.
Oh man.
And that costed us, a really decent amount of time because they had to tie wire the exhaust to the frame, but they didn't want to touch the coolant line, so the exhaust started, it was kind of bouncing around. And it took us, we were pitted for 10 minutes, John?
Yeah, probably about that. They had to fully remove the muffler.
Yeah, but that's still good that they were able to MacGyver it. I mean, that's what desert racing is all about.
Yeah.
So that set us back 10 minutes. That'll probably set us back 10 minutes as well.
Right.
So that pulled us back down to 5th.
The little things that cost us the race.
All the little things taught us. And just flying through the desert, especially because we were blowing our ears out, because there was no exhaust on the car.
We're screaming.
Dude, my ears hurt just thinking about that.
I rode half of last season like that.
That's what it's probably Kyle. John said he's used to straight pipes.
Yeah.
So, especially going that fast, it almost makes me feel really, because I've been racing for next year in March it'll be my 4th year racing, and going as fast as I've never gone before. So the fastest I've gone is 86 miles an hour, but the fastest I've gone in my desert car, it honestly makes me feel very special racing, especially sitting next to my best friend racing is more than imaginable. Going through that car and especially holding it around the corners and stuff like that. It's definitely a special feeling compared to anything else.
Yeah, exactly. What's up, Zeller? So that's pretty cool, man. And so, John, that's kind of the answer I was looking for from Ruslan was that's pretty meaningful to have that overall picture of it, right? All these little things. It's kind of just like you said, right? You guys are both feeling the same thing. You have the sense of accomplishment. And so now Ruslan, basically, you have a little bit more confidence going into some of this new stuff that you're going to try to do, huh?
Yeah, especially because me and John got that full excitement of being in first place. We ended up stepping on it and knowing the car's limits and stuff like that. And, maneuvering those rocks and stuff like that, we didn't even pop a tire.
That's cool.
Which was
we were, we really were, in sync, It's kind of crazy just to think of how well we communicated together in the car. I'm focused on the GPS and where we're at and what's coming up next. And then I'm also trying to monitor, what's ahead of us as far as vehicles and whatnot. And then
Preston said off-road's Robin Big.
That's right. That's hilarious, actually.
It is hilarious.
That is.
Definitely the number one thing that I enjoyed the most out of everything. Kind of 2 things. When John was telling me to slow down and stuff like that, and I took the scene from Talladega Nights where he goes, Lucius, or something like that. If you don't mind, I'm gonna do some driving.
we were joking with each other the whole race too. We were having a blast.
That's awesome to have that camaraderie behind the wheel.
Yeah. We were serious when we needed to be serious, and I kept telling him, monitor your belt temperatures, and then his little thing died. So he couldn't watch it anymore. But we're flying by the seat of our pants and we were having a great time. And like I said, it was little things that kept us out of the lead, but we definitely, I feel did something that not a lot of people can say. We completed the Mint 400, and that in itself is freaking awesome.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, there was still a lot of carnage out there. There was a bunch of guys picking themselves up in the middle of the night. So Ruslan, like I was saying before, can you continue on and tell us what you guys have going on in the near future here?
In the near future, I'm having a pretty special race that I'm actually not allowed to talk about coming up in February.
Why you got to be all secretive, bro?
That because it's a secret, and I don't think anybody's done it before. That me and in just about February, I believe. And I don't think anybody my age has done it. It's
I'm pumped for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really big race, and I'm going to be doing it next year in just about February. And let's hope me and John can complete this race with some good old glory.
Yeah, that'll be cool, man. Well, I'm stoked that you guys did all this stuff. I know that it was like quick, it happened fast. You know, you just jumped in there, but you learned so much. Like that's one of the things that I love about off road is like when we have these recaps or debriefs, right? Like you guys probably have a list that's a full page. Like, okay, I'm going to change what I did here. I'm going to suggest that Ruslan does this different, and then little things that you're going to do to the car, right? Like give yourself a little bit more leg room, make a bigger seat in there, like what, all of these little things, right? But you got to
leg room.
Exactly. All of these one, and Ricky Johnson said it, like all these 1% things that are going to make you guys 20% better.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
and I've been texting with Ruslan's dad about stuff that I would change for that car specifically.
Yeah.
You know, the suspension was perfect. I think it could be a little stiffer. If it was a little stiffer, I think we could have gone faster.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. That just could have, like you said, 1%. The 1% things. You know, that could. I mean, we did some cool stuff. Like, you know, we passed the shock therapy car.
Oh, nice.
Through some big stuff. Both cars.
Yeah.
Through some big stuff.
Hey,
that I felt right there was like, yeah.
They're coming on the show after you guys, so you guys won't have a rebuttal.
And then the other thing that was actually pretty cool after the race is if you know that famous guy Cowboy Cerrone.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't even know, but me and John passed Cowboy Cerrone, and I didn't even know of it because I remembered the Y fenders and said U906, and then looked.
That's cool.
Timing thing. It said U906 was in second place. Like that's awesome. It was crazy.
Yeah, like those little victories mean a lot when you're out there on course too. And then obviously you figure out some of the stuff at the end. And dude, I'm just proud of you guys. I think you guys did a good job. Hey, we got Dustin Battle Axe Jones coming up here, so I got to let you guys go. But you guys did a killer.
Dustin.
You guys
Congratulations, Dustin.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you boys later.
See you later, George. See you, Ruslan.
Peace. See ya.
Later.
Later.
Super cool to see those guys so pumped, man. It's just awesome. It's just awesome to see those guys have such a big smile on their face. Hopefully Dustin can join us in just a second here. And hopefully Dustin Henderson jumps on too and hangs out with us for a little bit as well. Desert Squadron, what's up, John? How are you? I love the vibes of both of these people that we interviewed, all five of the people that we've interviewed so far. Does a race at KOH? Yeah, maybe they will. And all of the guys that we've talked to so far today have been so stoked. I mean, a mini bike and then a youth program that John's helping out with. It's just so cool to see. So hopefully Dustin Battle Axe Jones and Dustin Henderson can come on the show real quick here. I'll shoot them a reminder here while we wait for them. Calculated Risk, what's up, guys? How are you guys doing tonight? If you guys have any, while we're waiting for them, if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about for the Mint 400, just let us know too. Or if you guys have any questions about Dustin's win when he comes on, we can talk about that with him too. Man, it was so intense, that whole UTV race. I mean, and these guys like Ruslan and those guys, they got to basically race on all the same stuff as the turbo guys, except for they just were, obviously took off a little bit later. Dustin said he's going to jump on in about 5 minutes here. So it'll be good to talk to him because he won that bad boy. We'll talk to him in just a second here. Do you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about at the Mint 400? Because, man, it was such a good race, man. Such a good race. And like I said, hopefully Dustin Henderson jumps on too. He had a good time out there with Dustin Jones. Those guys in the pro class were just insane. The pace was so high. I mean, driving a UTV at that pace, Ruslan said, 70-something, 80 miles an hour? Some of those Manny Boy says, I want to know Dustin's top speed on the lake bed. Yeah, that's what I was just getting at, dude. Ruslan said his top speed was, I don't know, somewhere around high 70s, low 80s or something like that. And I would want to know what Dustin's is too. I would bet you it's probably 90 to 95 miles an hour. What was your guys' top speed, Manny, in the NA class? How many cars were in the race? That's a good question, dude. We couldn't figure that out. We didn't ever have a full tilt list of it. At some point, I heard the number 171, but I don't know if that was like the total number of entries or just that day or whatever. Do the RS1 and the Mint 400 use bigger fuel tanks? No, a lot of those guys run stock tanks. Some of them do use bigger fuel tanks, but you can't really actually put too much more fuel in those things. You're nailing all the questions. Top speed would be cool to know. Yeah, I highly doubt that anybody was getting over 100 miles an hour. I think it's probably just shy of 100 miles an hour for those guys. We can ask, 85. That's pretty fast, especially in a normally aspirated car. We can ask the shock therapy guys like Ernie is going to come on because I don't think Justin's going to be able to make it. But we can ask them and see what they say too because those cars are pretty fast in the rally class. They're turbos. Shout out to the wives, dude, 100%. So one wife in particular, you guys can share your stories too, but one wife in particular, or girlfriend, Amber, Rob McCachran's girlfriend, she was actually giving us info in the broadcast booth about the race. It was so cool to see, like, so fired up that she was able to do that. So many people were texting me and just making me look like a good, a good knowledgeable person up there. So I appreciate everybody reaching out and sharing their stories and things like that. The Pro R top speed, who knows, dude? We're never gonna get that. So we did 96 in a KOH desert car last year. Yeah, that's pretty fast, Zeller. 96, especially in all that dust. Like maybe the first dude out on the first lap would have been safe doing that. The other guys, I don't know, man. It'd be pretty hard. My wife is in the car with me. Yeah, so she's not chasing; she's actually racing. But yeah, so the top speeds, they're probably all over the map, honestly. I mean, all those cars are so much different. Normally aspirated, turbos, Can-Ams, Polaris, 4-seaters, 2-seaters. There's so many. And then obviously you have the dust. So whoever starts out first has a massive advantage to be able to get those big numbers. It was pretty sketchy and all that dust. But that's desert racing, right? Like, I hate dust. You guys probably hate dust. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, that's just the way that it goes. But all of those people did really well. I mean, there was a lot less accidents than what we thought were going to happen. Calculated risk 91 at DP4 in the Johnson Valley lake bed. Yeah, I mean, that's flying. I mean, just think about going 90 plus miles an hour in a street car or in your UTV on the street, and now add the desert terrain. Like, it just feels so crazy when you're going that fast. Chasing is racing. I will definitely agree with that because 90% of the time you can't pass the race car because those dang race cars are going so fast. Does separate the boys from the men. Yeah, I mean, you can still have the boys from the men if you have a rain race where there's no dust. And you can see the good drivers rise to the top. But I think dust is definitely something that is, I don't know, an element that you have to really keep, I don't know. If you're good at seeing in the dust, you're going to have a massive advantage. Gutierrez in the chat. What's up, guys? How are you? So yeah, we're going to wait for Dustin to come on and join us here in a second. They might be, I think he said he was going to go work out, actually. So he might be getting swole right now. We'll wait and have a little bit of a chat with him. Like I said, we're at IMG Motorsports. I got my friend Scully over here. The reason I sat next to him is because I feel like this is what most of the racers feel like after the Mint 400. So we'll see what dude, I felt like that after the Mint 400, and I didn't even race. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. Gutierrez. Let's see, Zeller. Skilled element for sure. Rob Mack is one of the best in the dust. Dustin Jones, who's also going to come up, is actually one of the best with us. Best at seeing in the dust too. Like I always tell everybody, I feel like Dustin Jones has X-ray vision in the dust, but he has some really good tips, like using landmarks and different things like that can help you guys. All the top racers have their own way of doing it. Manny Boy Jim already took off, man. It's 6 o'clock, dude. He's got to be at home eating dinner with his family, dude. Glamis RS1 with paddles pinned. 21, 2 hours out of fuel. I don't know what that actually means. That comment's kind of confusing. They're actually having that Red Bull what is it called, sand scramble race this weekend out in Glamis. That's going to be kind of cool. So if you can't make it out to Texplex, cruise out there. Dustin Battleaxe Jones just joined us, and yeah, he's going to be out at Texplex along with myself. It's going to be cool to get out there. So let's talk to Dustin a little bit and see if he was at the gym getting all swole. He had an awesome race, man. So we'll see what he's got going. What's up, boys? How are you guys doing?
What's up, my man? How are you?
What's up, dude?
Yeah. So Dustin and Dustin, should I call you DH, or what do you guys call Henderson over there usually when you guys are around each other?
We call him DH. We call him DH usually.
Okay, cool. All right. So first thing I was saying was, are you guys all swole now? Did you guys get your pump on?
Bro, we're so jacked. Mainly D because he's been juicing out of his brains. But I'm just kidding. This performance enhancing drugs are legal in desert racing, so we can do that.
That's true, right? You don't get tested in desert racing. We're not racing the Tour de France here. Hey, so first of all, thank you guys very much for joining us and hanging out. We were talking with Ruslan, John, and even better, I don't know if you guys saw it, but at the beginning of the show when you guys were getting all swole, we talked with the boys that raced the mini bike. Did you guys see those dudes?
Dude, I saw him leave the line from like the big jump, and I saw him blow his backbone off on that first jump to flat, and that's all I saw. Yeah,
I saw it. What was it?
Dude, he said it's from Tractor Supply.
What? My dude.
Dude, look at this. Compared to the big bikes, he crushed it.
Did he legitimately? He was racing it, signed it up, and raced it.
Yeah, and he blew off the chain. There was 3 dudes, so they all.
You can do that like your old bicycle in middle school, and just put the chain on and start rolling it, and then load the chain back on there for sure.
So check this out. So they had new bikes at every pit, just in case the bike blew out. They just get on another one, and the one that they took off on survived the whole thing.
There ain't no way he finished the race on it. He did 1 lap, right?
No, I think it was 2, but I don't know. I actually didn't ask that. What a good reporter I am, right?
My freaking dude. But he at least ran 1 full lap on that thing.
Yeah, and he said it was pretty sketchy. And so it was 3 dudes, and it was CJ, Tom, and Jason Felix, that they all went around and got it, dude. Like, the amount of, like, hype that they had, or how much pumped they were, was so sick, man. All right, let's get on to your guys' race. So congratulations, first of all. You guys are Mint 400 champions for 2021. You guys crushed it. That race, all the races the whole weekend were intense, but your guys' race was intense in its own, and you guys didn't start out in the lead, so give us a little bit of an understanding of how the race was in your guys' mind.
Yeah, so I think we started off I don't know, 8th row or something like that.
Yeah, like 13th or something.
Yeah, so 13th off the line. And, we ran to the first pit pretty clean. Coming out of the first pit, we literally ended wadded up in a pile of cars and thought it was the end of our day. We thought we tore the front end off the car. There's a helo video of us.
Really?
Crash. Yeah, there's a helo video of us crashing into a wad of cars.
Yeah, that's somewhere.
It's on my phone, but I can't send it.
What happened? You guys went into some?
Yeah, so running out of pit 1, it was a long straightaway at like 90 miles an hour to an immediate right.
Hard right, yeah.
And one car tried to nerf one going into that turn.
Oh.
Flipped the first car, and the second car ran up on top of it. And so when we came in, it was just the corner was blown out with dust. And I was like,
whoa,
man, dude, there's something going on here. And went from 25 to 0 like that, dude. It reminded me of that Vegas to Reno crash we had.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. Yes, because it comes up on you so quick, right?
Yeah.
Hey, hold on real quick before I forget. Like 5 people ask what the top speed on your car was at the Mint 400.
We had I know I saw 98 on the lake bed.
Nice.
We were cruising about 95 to 98 across the lake bed. I think somebody said they caught the tracker at 101 one time coming back in, and the lake bed's kind of a slope coming back into town. So I think my dad said he caught the tracker at 101 one time.
Nice, that's cool. All right, what were you saying now?
Yeah, so we got wadded up in those cars, and I thought that was the end of the day for us. Car was in 2-wheel drive for about half that lap. We gave up some time. I think we were running 6th or 7th on time. Finally got everything working again, got the car reset, and 4-wheel drive started pulling, and then we started turning it on. So it's
hard. It's really hard to make up time during those Well, during any of that race, because it's so dusty, the track is, well, it's an awesome track, but it's kind of single track, right? Like there's hardly any places to pass, and when you can pass, it's just open road, so everybody's already balls out, right? So,
Yeah, for sure.
is DH telling you where you can go, like what you can do, like what's the move to be able to move through the pack? Because you got a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm trying to tell him what he can't see.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean? He can see the immediate, straight away to the next turn. I'm telling him what's coming after that. So I try to stay at least 1 to 2 turns ahead of what he can't see. And that seems to work really well for us, especially when we're pushing really hard.
Dude, okay. Here, so I just got the video. This is the cars going in front of you. And
That's
then
it. That's it.
dude, he smoked that guy in front of him, and then if you wait a second, you can see you guys coming in hot.
And then,
there's you guys right there.
Bam! Dead stop.
Oh God, the front right of the car, dude.
Yeah, dude. And it went 25-0 instantly, dude. And so I thought that tore the front end off. I thought the race was over.
Oh man,
we're sick. We're sick about it, especially was the first pit 30 miles in, 30 miles into the race, and you think, oh man, like this is it, we're done.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Thanks, Robert Campbell, for sending that in.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool, man. I'm glad we got to show that video. It's tough to explain, and you remember it weird sometimes. So I'm glad there's a video.
So, DH, you got out and we're just like getting an inventory of the car, or did you stay in and just like, all right, let's go?
No, I stayed in the car. We like DJ mentioned, we lost some time there, just physically trying to process what happened, because it happened like that. All of a sudden, we're tangled up with some cars. So, I immediately told him, like, let's back up, let's go around these cars, but let's do it on the side away from the track.
Yeah,
I just knew there was going to be another car coming, bam, us from behind. So, like we took off, we gave up some time there trying to process what happened, and physically just getting back on the race course. And like he mentioned, we were in 2-wheel drive, and we ended up giving up track position to Rodrigo there.
Yeah.
So it cost us a bit of time. Thankfully, the car wasn't torn up. And shortly after, DJ had a good idea to flip the car out of 4-wheel drive and back in, and
fixed it.
So
dude,
that's
crazy. Well, and you guys know the car really well, so thank God that you guys had that. Man, so making up all that time on that course was pretty freaking difficult. Like, dude, almost nobody was able to do it, but you guys figured out a way too.
Yeah, so I know you were asking a minute ago about the dust and like how do we navigate that. And it's probably the perspective is different because Dustin is making the calls that he calls for me. I'm a real needy driver, and like I don't do anything that he doesn't tell me to do, really.
Okay.
And so we did run in a lot of blind dust, and we took way more chances than we would normally take in a race. But at some points, it was literally Dustin saying to me, a little bit left, scoot over a little bit. All right, a little bit back right.
Really that detailed?
Dude, we were just chasing the GPS line. I told somebody a minute ago at the gym, literally on the lake bed, at one point we were doing 95, and I was just looking over at his GPS and just zigzagging down the track, trying to stay on top of the course marking on the GPS.
That sounds like a sketchy video game.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Because obviously we know what the consequences are if you get tangled up in somebody, but it's like we said, during the last lap, D was like, bro, we did not come here to get second. We did not come here to just finish this race. We are going to win this race or we're going to crash the car. So one of the cool things is shock therapy. I appreciate that. We do take a lot of big chances in the dust for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully that's Ernie or Mitch that's commenting in. I don't know who's commenting in, but hold off for a little bit before we're not going to let Dustin go. We're running a little bit behind, so hold off a little bit before you guys join us. All right, so keep going.
Let me hit kind of the last section of the race. So we had some pit guys in pit one when we were coming in. And when we got there, they were like, listen, man, you're like 4 minutes off the lead.
Yeah.
The track was getting really packed up. We were getting into a lot of dust and lap traffic. So I was like, D, there's no way, dude. There's no way we can make up this time. He said, nah, we're freaking going for it. So we pushed super freaking hard going into pit 2.
Yeah.
We came into pit, jumped on the radio and said, Bryce, we had Bryce with us from 106 Motorsports. We said, dude, where are we at? Do you know where the leaders are? there was two cars in the pits at the same time in pit row with us. And he said, look up the hill. He said, you see that blue light right there? I said, yeah. He said, that is the leader.
Oh, so you're like, all right, we got to go.
Dog, I said, I thought Vito had started 1 minute in front of us. And so I was like, dog, if that's him, we got to run him down. And so coming into finish line, there's a long 25-mile-an-hour section to where you're going over the bridge and you can see the other end.
Yeah.
When we got top of the bridge, there were some blue lights at the bottom, and they turned 180 degrees and came back down the bridge in the dirt. And that's when I seen it was first place. And so going into the last 4-mile short course section, I told Dustin, I said, you cannot miss a call. You have to tell me exactly where, because I'm freaking about to hang it out there in the short course area. And so we ran the car literally almost to pieces and came into the final pit and saw him in the pits with us at the same time. I said, that's it. We ran him down. This is ours. We're done.
Yeah, because all you need is 59 seconds.
Oh, that's all I needed, is to get what I thought was to get under 1 minute. And when I saw him at the end of pit row with us, I said, nah, that's it, boy. We did it.
Dang, that's cool. And so DH was just guiding you the whole way?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And so the short course area, we got in behind him and another truck that we had to chase down. So we were so sketchy in the short course section, but I knew I could not follow that other car to finish. So we had to hang it out there.
Oh, just to get by that other car. And what were you thinking, DH, during this time? Were you just dude, it's checkers or wreckers?
Yeah, I mean, we pretty well had that mentality the entire race. But
I guess you have to, right?
Got to. It wasn't until, like DJ mentioned, in the long horseshoe pit that we actually saw the leader. It wasn't until then that we're like, man, pushing hard all day, we could actually pull this off. And from the last pit to the finish line, we really, really turned it on, and it got super sketchy. Not just driving the car harder than we were all day, but doing it in blind dust and doing it at nighttime.
Yep.
With a car that's as beat up as it's been all day. But realistically, to win races like this, you have to, you got to push the car so hard. The teams have gotten too good. The programs have gotten too good. The cars have gotten too well built and fast. You got to have a clean race, because if you don't, there's going to be a handful of other guys that will. So
this is exactly what we were, Ricky Johnson and I were talking about when we were starting to call the race. We were like, all right, so what's the move? Because I had a lot of faith that you guys were going to be moving through the pack. And he goes, dude, I don't know. He goes, there's going to be so much dust, and everybody's going to go balls to the wall right from the start. So the guy in front already has a huge advantage. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think you understand how good Dustin can see in the dust. And then, so we started talking about all these different things. And then right about halfway, and we didn't know all of the stuff that you guys just explained. I was like, he hasn't made that much progress, dude. He's kind of sitting there. He's almost stuck, and then all of a sudden it's inch. And I'm like, dude, he's going. They got some momentum going. And then Ricky's like, do you think they can keep it up? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like they're just going to go for it.
Dude, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a weird thing when the sun went down and we passed that pit one.
Yeah.
We got into a different zone, I feel like, to where my headlights was all I could see, and that's all that I was focused on. And so it took a lot of distractions out. Whenever we're racing in daytime, you can see a lot going on. You can kind of see in the distance, your peripheral catches up to you. But when the sun went down is when I really felt like we were able to turn it on and really kind of put it down. And that's when we made up all that time, man. It may have been, I'm sure it's because the pace slowed a little bit as the track went away, as the dust got worse, and as the night came on.
Yeah.
But I think we got faster as it got dark.
Yeah, and who knows what happened to the other guys, right? Sometimes you have to let race come to you. Sometimes you have to push forward. But you guys are so, you guys made all the right decisions. One decision that I want to know is, where do you get a green jacket like that?
Dog.
I saw that picture. I was like, man, George picked a good picture.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to meet you guys in, I don't know if both of you guys will be there, but I'm going out to Texplex this weekend to come hang out. And I was like, fuck, if I could only have that jacket when I show up.
I'll bring it. You can bring it. That's literally the only time
Wait. He can just wear it for the day, or he can have the jacket.
Dude, I don't know if I take that home to California, I may be crushing hearts out here, dude.
Oh man, they ain't ready for that style out there, boy.
All right, so I told everybody else I'm sitting next to my friend Scully here at IMG Motorsports. How do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like he did after the Min 400?
Bruh, at least that good. I'm going to be honest with you. I was beat up after this race. I didn't realize it until the next morning. And even when I got out of the car coming up on my podium, like I could barely carry myself up there, dude. I don't know about you, but it was probably the most exhausted I've been.
Yeah, I was more beat up after that race than any in recent memory. Like I was hurting, I was sore, my neck was sore. I was feeling it the next day for sure. Just now finally starting to feel somewhat normal again.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even race and I felt like that. But that does actually bring up a good point, though. So Matt Martelli is going to come on and talk to us a little bit about the race overall and all of these other different things. But one thing that I'm taking from all these racers and all of the fun that we've had over the last 5 days is that, first of all, it was a fantastic race from all of you guys. You guys put on a show that was like nobody's business, right? But the level of competition at these events is getting to be so gnarly that it feels like you guys are going to have to push no matter what at every single race now.
To be honest with you, I like that racing style. We come from woods racing or short course. That's, either 6 or 8 laps or 1 hour only, and it's 100% all the time. And so coming into desert racing, we always heard like to finish first, you first must finish. And that's true. But we were told that in the aspect of conserving the car, to where the racing that it's moving to now, to where it's like we're running small trucks and you have to run it balls to the wall. That's racing that I like. So the Mint 400 was probably one of the funnest races I've done in the past 2 years, because I literally left nothing out there. You know what I mean? I was willing to crash the car without exaggeration. I know people joke around about checkers or wreckers. I'm telling you right now, I would have completely yard sailed that car, and I did not care at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is, right? And when you're racing against guys like Vito and against Brandon Sims and all of these guys that were up at the top level, like, you don't have a choice, right? Because those guys aren't going to let up. So, man, I'm proud of both of you guys. I really am. And one of the things that I wanted to say is you guys didn't have the Best in the Desert season kind of got turned upside down on you guys at the end. And now this is a little bit of redemption. So what do you think, DH? You pumped?
Yeah, like you mentioned, the Best in the Desert season didn't quite go our way. But man, I couldn't think of a better way to come back from that and kind of put a cap on 2021. What better way to end the race year with winning the biggest race of 2021.
Yeah,
so,
it really was. I mean, dude, and just seeing you guys, like, I'm pumped that Martelli's, we'll talk to Matt about it, but the coverage and stuff, like, we could see you guys going through a lot of these things that you're talking about. It was badass.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm so thankful about with the Martellis, is how hard they're pushing, especially with the World Championships in the Mint, to give us really good coverage. Because for racers, like, that's invaluable, man. People can follow us, they can watch us, they can track us. Our whole team our whole company back here in Louisiana knew how we were doing.
Oh, nice.
To watch us and track us. And, dude, they stayed up all night until the race was over tracking us.
Dude, that's so sick. I feel cool just even hearing that, man. Well, like I said, you guys did a fantastic job, man. Like, I couldn't have seen it go to a better crew, man. You guys really worked your ass off the whole year, man. Dude, I've seen you guys more than I've seen some of my best friends, and you guys live in Louisiana because you guys have been working so hard to do all this racing stuff. So kudos to you guys for capping off the year this way.
Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you so much. We're excited,
Yeah, and then so what's happening at Texplex this weekend? Give us a little rundown.
Bro, we're going out there, me and your boy George Hamill, putting it down on the bikes. We're emceeing the 12-hour race out at the Texas Outlaw Race Series. Brian Atkins, the guys at Texplex, we're going to be out there. Huge race. It's going to be fun. We're going to be tearing up the mics. Me and you going to put it down, huh?
Yeah, let's lay it down, man. I think it'll be pretty fun. So we'll have to have some, probably not tacos, but some burritos or something while we get there too, right? All right. So will we
real Mexican food?
Will we see any of your crew over there too?
Oh yeah, we've got several of our chassis out there racing, but then we've got a bunch of our guys coming out to pit for some of the other race teams. And so, yeah, man, we've always got a president. We support that series. We support that track. And we're always a part of Texplex and our stuff out there.
Cool, man. Well, you guys got a lot of comments and a lot of good positivity going on. Like I said, you guys crushed it, man. So go ahead and get some rest and rest your bones.
My dude, thank you for the opportunity to get on here, man.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate it. And thank you for everybody that commented. That means a lot to us. We always get a lot of positive reinforcement. And I always tell everybody, I want to be a good example of what a professional racer can be. So it means a lot to me when I see people put good comments on here, man.
Yeah, well, you guys are doing a fantastic job, so keep up the good work. All right, boys, we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah, you guys too. All right, Ernie. So the shock therapy guys, I think they're going to try to jump on here. So we'll see if they're able to do it. I don't know, Ernie, if you can jump on. I don't know who else is going to come on. Maybe it's Ernie, Mitch. I don't know. But those guys did such a fantastic job, man. It was really cool to see. You always have, your own favorite racer or whatever. I genuinely like every single person. That's out on the track because all of the people put in so much hard work to be able to win. You know, Vito kind of got his race a little bit taken away. Brandon Sims was moving through the pack. Dustin actually moved up and just barely edged out those guys. Like, it was just so insane to see all of that stuff, man. It was just so cool. Like, I can't tell you guys how excited I was when we were announcing the race, man. It was just so rad to see all that stuff. Matt Martelli is going to jump on at 6:40. So if the guys from Shock Therapy do jump on, we're only going to have a couple minutes to talk with them. So if you guys do have any questions, you guys can throw them out there right now as well. Even if they're not just racer questions, if they're maybe upcoming questions or whatever you guys want to talk about. If Ernie and those guys do jump on, cool. If not, then we're just going to wait till Matt Martelli comes on. Oh, here we go. Here's Ernie. So we'll talk to Ernie for just a few minutes here, get his understanding of what his Mint 400 was like. Ernie from Shock Therapy, what's up, homie?
What's up? How you doing?
Doing good, man. Sounds like Justin wasn't able to join us, so we're going to get a little bit of the back behind the scenes of what happened with Ernie in his rally debut.
I think Mitch is going to join too, but I feel like it's that Justin can't join, but he's going to watch us.
Oh, here's he's probably going to watch us and judge us, right?
Yeah, probably.
So we're running a little bit behind, so we're only going to be able to give you guys 10 minutes here before Matt Martelli comes on. Mitch, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's up, George? Good, man. How are you?
Doing awesome. I really appreciate you guys jumping on and hanging out with us for a little bit. We only have looks like nine minutes, but you guys raced the what do we call it, the Shock Therapy pre-runner in the rally class this weekend at the Mint 400, right?
We definitely did it. Believe it or not, it's Mitch and I's first time ever racing, period. So it was a hell of an experience for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. What was the feeling or the vibe like before you guys go out there?
Nuts.
Like, dude. So I was trying to tell people that, like, I wasn't really worried about the race itself and the driving itself because, I mean, we drive all week, every week. We drive so many cars, testing and tuning and stuff. But it's just we didn't know how a race worked. We didn't know any of the aspects of the race, or it was all just so freaking brand new for us. So.
Lonnie Skate says, asked him about peeing. You didn't know about peeing in a race car either?
No, I had quite an experience.
That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. We did pretty good though. We did pretty good at peeing. So
that's hilarious, dude. So all right, give us a vibe going into like your first lap. Then, so you're kind of nervous. You're like your first race. Like a lot of these people that watch the show are the same type of people, right? They've never raced before. They want to know what it feels like. So give us a little bit of the lowdown.
So me myself, I was kind of psyching myself out early, but we were in line kind of watching everything happen. All the pro classes went in front of us, a lot of trucks and cars and stuff. And, just watching everyone go over that first jump into and almost into the car, where Mitch and I were like, dude, we ain't doing that. Like, we don't want to end this thing right now.
Yeah, so, exactly.
But, we got up to the start finish, and the second we got up there, I guess somebody rolled. So we were sitting on the start finish for like 10, 15 minutes. And it was a little bit of a bummer, but it kind of, I don't know about you, Mitch, but it kind of chilled me out. So then we just started going. We had a game plan. we just want to finish. I mean, we were joking the night before. We're like, hey, we got 23 people in this class. If 10 drop out and 13 finish, I'll take 13.
Dude, that's a pretty
100%.
heavy class. 23 people?
Yeah, definitely. So
I think the cool thing too is like we went in not wanting to place in any position. We went in, we were like, we're gonna do our first race. We're gonna run the mint, finish the mint. That was our plan.
Yeah.
To do that and to come out and actually do as well as we did was just another add-on to the whole amazing experience that we had.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So tell everybody what place you ended up in.
5th.
Yeah.
We got 5th.
So that's pretty dang good, man. And there was some guys in there that weren't any joke. I mean, like even we were just talking to Ruslan and John, like they were hammered down, dude. They were like excited to be able to pass you guys. You know what I mean? Like, so the competition level is not like there's no slouches in there.
Dude, so let me talk about that. So we're in a spot and this car's coming up behind us hotter than hell. And Mitch is like, dude, this guy is coming up quick. So I'm like, no big deal. Like, we'll let everyone around. We're just out there trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Our thing. And dude, this car comes around us so hard, and it was him. And we're both like, oh, he's driving over his head. Like, he is on fire. Like we knew for sure, like, you know what, we're just going to do our thing. And sure as shit, we came into the next pit and they were working on that car. And we passed them right there again. So it was pretty funny that they were pretty stoked about passing us. I love that. I love people, thinking that we're awesome because we're shock therapy. Dude, we're brand new.
Yeah, but
we are brand new.
Still though, like I remember, like when I was a kid or when I was first starting racing, like I would look to my left, look to my right, like walk around the pits, and I would be like, God, that guy is so cool. Like I hope I can like even battle with that dude. So this is like the same thing that Ruslan and these guys are feeling, right? And you guys are probably feeling some of the same things too, because you're like, I don't know who that guy is, and then all of a sudden they blow by you or you blow by them, and you're like, yes.
Yeah,
it was amazing, man. The whole experience was just, I'm still speechless about the whole thing, just because there was so much going on. There was so much to learn. There was so much just exciting things about the whole thing. So just super pumped, man.
When you talk about it like that, it kind of gets me my brain turning and thinking, like, you guys are literally around side by sides more than you're around most of your family, right? Like you guys are ingrained in your skull, basically. You test every day. You guys work on these things every day, and then you go out and you race your first race. Like, to me, that's like monumental because it feels like it changes everything.
100%.
Yeah, it did. I mean, we definitely got psyched out about the whole thing, right? And then we just kind of realized, dude, we do this every day.
Yeah,
like we do this every day. So once I was able to do that, and Mitch did a freaking fantastic job, like completely. Like I was so comfortable in the car. We didn't have any mistakes or any problems or anything like that. Now we weren't running, Justin's pace. We weren't running
101 miles an hour like Dustin Jones was.
I'm 100% out on that. I got a Dustin Jones story for you too.
Hit me.
We're towards the end of the first lap, or I'm sorry, end of the third lap, which is our race, right? So and we get on dust. Okay, dust for one thing. Holy shit. I've heard about the dust, but dude, what we experienced about dust, I've never seen that in my entire life.
It's like none other, right?
Oh my God. We got on this one dry lake bed, one of the last ones, and we're doing our thing. And our normal speed on the dry lake bed throughout the day was, what were we doing, Mitch? Like
we were 96.8.
Holy shit! Yeah. Seriously, that fast?
Yeah, we were hauling balls on a lot on some of that stuff, but dude, we're doing like 40 because we can't see shit.
Yeah.
And we just see these lights coming up on us, and Dustin Jones passed us on the lake bed, had to be going 100. So I'm like, Mitch, dude, I'm going to get way on the left here and just see how fast this dude's going, because I'm freaking the hell out. He can't see. There's no way he can see.
Yep.
And we got up to mid 90s and he was right there. I'm like, holy shit.
Dude, that's crazy.
I don't get how you do it. I don't get how they do that, man.
He was literally just talking about that same stint just a couple minutes ago. Dude, that's nuts, man. Yeah, I don't know, like, Mitch, you're not behind the wheel, but, like, even if I was behind the wheel or sitting passenger, I don't know how comfortable I would feel, like, with that.
It's so that was a big thing that I had to learn, because I'm so used to being in control of the wheel that I found myself up more in the dust than looking at the GPS. And I know that's a no-no, but I mean, first race, we're all learning everything. So
Yeah.
it was a lot, man. It was definitely a lot. And just the learning side of it, like for the next race to be like, okay, I did this time, let's do something different this time, and let's focus on some cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Just so that we can because I know a bunch of people are going to ask the same question. What did you guys learn that you can help with your work or your work and day-to-day stuff that you do, customers, shock revalving and stuff? Like, what was the stuff you guys take away from it?
That's kind of a hard one for me. I believe it or not, and I'm not trying to toot our horn or anything like that. That car freaking rides great.
Yeah,
it rides so freaking good. We got a lot of time and energy into that setup for sure. So I could see a customer coming in that's like, dude, no, I'm serious. I don't go to the dunes. I'm desert only. And I'm the hardest guy in my pack. And I mean, if he was interested in a setup like what's in that car, we would definitely cater to that. 'Cause that thing is it's amazing.
Yeah, that's rad. And what about you, Mitch?
Well, it's like Ernie said, but it's also cool to like go do a race thing to actually see what the car is doing and to feel comfortable and confident in that is pretty rad too. So
yeah, you guys have always done such a good job. I mean, you guys have revalved a million of my shocks to be able to get me out on course and at the races and stuff like that. But I'm glad that you guys are actually out there doing it now because you guys kind of get to see it firsthand. It gives me that extra confidence, right? So I'm sure that the customers will feel that way too.
Absolutely, man.
All right, so now that you guys have got one under your belt, you got a 5th place, which is fantastic. I mean, dude, out of 23 guys, like there was guys out there that were stuck in the desert still all night, right? Like trying to get their stuff recovered. So you guys did good, first of all, finishing, and then second of all, with your guys' pace and your guys' notes, and obviously your guys' understanding of the race course. Are you guys thinking about maybe doing it again?
That's the plan. So that's definitely the plan. There's a new class coming out called Super Stock for Best in Desert. We're planning on getting a car built for that. And
is that kind of like rally or what is that?
I think it's rally, but you're more limited to like your radiator has to be in the front location. It has to have a lot more plastic on the car. I know it's basically a stock car with all your safety equipment and stuff. So
yeah, so like a stock spec class. That's rad.
Yeah. So we're definitely interested in that. They're also going to make the turbo cars slower, like restrictor plate type stuff. So,
I honestly don't think that has anything to do with how the results are going to turn out. I feel like that's fine.
I'm not really all that worried about it. And Mitch and I've been talking about it. Like our pace that we ran on this race is probably going to be pretty decent for that class. So we're pretty stoked about that. So. But yeah, if the car's not done in time, I know that Parker's coming up in January, so we'll be doing our best in the rally class for that one.
Yeah, that'll be cool though, man. I think that'll be really fun for you guys to get out there and do it. Does that mean that you guys have to take some weekends off and stuff like that?
Just kind of depends on when it falls.
Yeah, it depends on
first, but we'll see what we can do as far as making it to as many as we can.
To me, that seems like it's going to be such a good growing experience for you guys, and especially within the company and stuff too. I'm excited for you guys to do it. So overall, like if you had to sum it up, what would you think is the I guess sum it up in one word? How was the whole weekend for you guys?
Dude, it was a dream. The whole weekend for me was a dream, dude. Yeah. It was just an absolute dream. I had such an awesome time. We have such an incredible race team. Our setup is just insane. The family that goes down there with us that helps with everything, dude, it was just incredible to see the whole thing get put together, and then to go out there and actually do what we said we were going to do, which is we're going to race each other and the car. That was our plan, period. And to finish the race. Dude, I'm speechless.
Yeah, that's a dream. Does sound like a rad word. How about you, Mitch?
Spectacular, man. Like Ernie was saying with the whole race team thing, that was kind of a first in how all that stuff works, and it is a family when all that stuff comes together. There's no missing link to any of that stuff, and it is super rad to see that. I thank every single one of those guys that helped us out, and Ernie and I were talking about it. It was like, this is weird, man. We're not doing anything. Like, I feel bad. Like, it's
like we're celebrities there. And that is the furthest thing from what I am. Like I will ever be. I don't want that. I want to be the one helping all the time and stuff like that. But these guys got it down, and they have experience, and they know what's up.
Like you would get in the way if you tried to help them out, right?
Yeah. So they even had White Claws for us when we finished, dude. I mean,
dude, they know what's up. That's an intuitive team right there.
Yeah, what an experience. What an experience.
Dude, I'm so pumped for you guys. Like, literally, I am. I'm actually, I'm kind of pumped that Justin wasn't able to make it because I had more fun with you guys. So tell Justin next time he's getting kicked out and it's you guys, all right?
Oh, he hears you.
No, I am, but I'm genuinely pumped for you guys. And Justin had a fantastic weekend too. You know, he did really well, and we were watching him come through the ranks of why he was driving. So kudos to the whole Shock Therapy crew. I'm like I said, I'm pumped for you guys, man. I didn't know that you guys would have this big a smile, so now I'm even more excited.
Yeah, dude, I can't stop talking about it. So I'm totally geeking out.
I still feel like the guy sitting next to you, but I mean, I'm still smiling. So we're
yeah, that's what I was telling everybody. Scully is how most of the guys feel after they got off the Mint 400 course.
Did you steal that from Steve, or is that our Scully?
I don't know. This is Scully that was at because I'm over here at IMG, but
I figured you stole it from Steve-O.
No, he's roasted though, dude. His Mint 400 didn't go as good as your guys.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, homies. Well, I really appreciate it. We're going to get Matt Martelli on here. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and keep kicking ass, dude. I can't wait to see you guys at the track more.
Thank you, George.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, boys. We'll see you later. How cool is that, man, for those guys to go out there and do it? And you know what's funny is, like, they're around it all the time, and they actually have that same excitement level as all of these other racers, just like us would. You know, like if I was starting a race and just a beginner, it's so cool to see that, man. So cool. Hopefully we can get Matt Martelli on here in just a second and talk to him a little bit about how everything went, and then we're gonna round out the show with Adrian Orellana and Manny Boy, and talk with them a little bit about about their race as well. So overall, I really, really like the way that that just everything went at the Mint 400. Like, there hasn't been anybody that's talked to us this whole time, yesterday and today, that has anything bad to say. Everybody's been so fired up and pumped on it. So it's pretty cool, man. Let me tell Matt to jump on here real quick, and we can talk with him a little bit about what he thought about the Mint 400 overall. He put in a lot of work for this event, and him, his brother, his whole team, Killian, like everybody that was there. Matt said you're unable to join. Update your Instagram app, and you should be able to. So yeah, it was just a fantastic race, man. And I know I've said it like a million times, but the coverage for the Mint 400, I mean, like the camera angles, the live feed, the production crew, like all of that stuff, I've never seen something so awesome in the off-road world. Like, to me, it feels like it was the Super Bowl of off-road, but it feels like that's what off-road needs. It feels like we need to have that all the time so that we can have everybody showcased, all of these cool drivers, all of these cool events that happen during the races. Like, all of these things need to be showcased to show how everybody outside of the off-road world, how cool off-road actually is. So I'm really glad that that we were able to show that, and we were able to showcase it with all of the stuff that Matt and his whole crew did. Some of the things like behind the scenes that I saw, I mean, like Killian was working left and right. I mean, the dude didn't get any sleep, and he just got married, like a whole bunch of stuff. That brings up a good point too. Like, all of these guys have, day jobs. They have, other lives. Like, they're just normal people, right? Isn't Matt the director? I don't know what his actual title is, but he's the one that runs the show. I have a better knowledge of how things were done since having issues Friday and Saturday. I'm not really sure what you mean, off-road pit. But yeah, I mean, like, learning and all that stuff. Yes, and they need to show all classes, not just dude. We were there for 20 plus hours in the booth, and there was no way that we could have talked about anything else. Like, the only way that you could do it that way would be to separate all of them on different days and just have them do it. Matt's actually trying to get on a FaceTime call. Matt, I'm not sure if you can hear me, buddy. So I'm actually on Instagram Live. Maybe you could jump over to Instagram Live. Just update your Instagram app and then try to jump on again. All right, buddy? Cool. Thanks. So we'll get Matt on in just a second here. Yeah, it's I had connection issues with the live feed. Yeah, see, but that's not on the live feed side because that thing was running smooth, man. They had a big old truck out there that was like showing all the different angles of the cameras and stuff. Dude, some of those camera angles, the drones and the helicopters and stuff were in freaking insane. Like I was so pumped on those things, man. But to get back to like all the racing and stuff, like there was I don't know what it was called, like a driver meet and greet or whatever. But so they pulled up all of the like trophy truck, class ones, like a whole bunch of stuff onto the track and like just had them all sitting there with the drivers and stuff, and then everybody, all the fans and stuff, could go out there and stand there and look in the trucks. Cade and Max said they could sit in the truck, they could hang out, they could do all kinds of rad stuff, and that doesn't happen in other motorsports. Like in a supercross race, you can't go up and sit on the dude's bike. You can't go up and touch his bike. In a F1 race, you can't touch the cars. Like, so for them to have that was super special. I think it was cool. Like for me, I would have loved to have been able to go walk out there and hang out if I wasn't working, but it was really neat to see all that stuff. And I think goes to show a lot of the vibe that all of these people that we've interviewed yesterday and today are saying or talking about with a smile on their face is because of all of those little things that were done. Because those make such a big difference, because we're showcasing all of the people that are involved in off-road, their personalities, and doing things that I love to do so much on the Dirt Life, because we get to talk with all of these fantastic people. So I'm really pumped on it, man. Really, really pumped. And since we're talking about the Mint 400 recap, I mean, you guys can hit me with any questions. Yeah, Monster Trucks is the only other. So yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Is Monster Trucks is the only other sport that you can actually get that close to the drivers and the trucks and things like that. So I'm really excited that off-road, or the Mint 400, was able to bring that to off-road. People were pumped, man, so pumped, and it was just cool. There was so much. I mean, the racing was insane. I mean, we talked to Cade and Mack yesterday about the trophy truck race. We talked to Dustin Jones about the side-by-side race today. I mean, dude, those guys showing up, CJ, Tom, and Jason, or Felix, as they call him, on their mini bike. I mean, could you imagine going and racing a mini bike at the Mint 400 for that much of the... God, that would be so crazy. What's up, Adrian? How are you? We're going to try to see if Matt can come on here and talk a little bit about it, but he's having some issues, so we might end up just having you guys come on early. Let me give Matt just a little bit more time and see if he can figure it out. Or actually, Adrian, if you guys want to, I don't know why it's not working. I have the most current version. Let me see if I can invite you again, Matt, and we'll see if we can get Matt on here once again. Let's invite him real quick. If we can't, we'll just have you come on real quick, Adrian. I tried to invite you again. And then we can talk with Adrian a little bit about his race and get Manny Boy on here too. So we'll see if Matt can join us. Adrian, if you're ready, I know you're at work, or if you're just getting off work, but if you're ready, feel free to come on now, because I can tell Matt to jump on at 7. You can slide into this time right now. Corin asks, I want to hear about how Adrian made a Translive or so, caveman style. I don't know what any of that means. Let's see here, Rancho Racing. Okay, cool. Yeah, so just jump on now, Adrian. And we'll get Manny Boy, if you're watching, jump on too. So we'll just talk with you guys right now, and then we'll have Matt join in a little bit later, and then we'll have a little end of the show with Matt. So jump on now, boys. I can invite you too if you guys can't get on. Yeah, for whatever reason, it keeps saying that Matt can't join. I'm seeing these over here on my end too, Matt. So I'm not really sure what the deal is, but I'm going to get Adrian and Manny over here. What's up, Adrian? How are you, buddy?
What up, man? Pretty good.
We're going to see if we can get Manny on here, too. What's up, Manny?
What's up, boys?
How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, man. Good. Just, I like Manny's background. It's a lot better than what mine is. Just
Yeah, you're just all boring. And dude, look at my background. I got the freaking Scully from IMG over here. All right, boys.
Yeah.
So, give us a little bit of a understanding of how you guys feel after the Mint 400.
Yeah, dude, I feel great. You know, we came in there with accomplishing one of my dreams is having a 2-car team. So Cynthia was one of our good friends, and both cars finished. Yeah, man, I was excited. Organization, the tech, and all that stuff compared to last year was definitely a lot better. I think just how they ran everything was super smooth, and it was cool how they made us bounce around to different hotels or different areas for registration, picking up the canters and all that stuff. So it forced us to walk around and move around a little bit.
Yeah. It was actually
all within one area, though.
It was super cool down there. A bunch of guys are commenting in, Adrian. But yeah, it was a pretty cool vibe. I mean, like, how many pictures did you guys take down there in Tech and Contingency? Probably a shitload of them, huh?
Yeah. We definitely got running 2 cars. We definitely got an overload in the Dropbox for sure. Our buddy Jason at Dusty Summit was covering both cars. Man, I saw that guy on the track so many times, running around with his vest and all that stuff. He did good, man. He definitely covered it both. So
yeah, well, and he's fantastic at shooting pictures too.
Yeah.
So what was the vibe going in, Manny?
Adrian's so fast now, and there's a handful of guys. That,
easy. We don't need Adrian's head any bigger, all right, buddy?
Coming off the Baja 1000, both of us were in different cars, so we wanted to go, recover from what happened to us at Worlds and put it all on the table. And
yeah,
I jumped in for the last 2 laps. We had Carl jump in for the first 2 laps. And I hopped in and we were in second place. I said, okay, this is a good spot, Caden put a little bit of a gap on us and, running out, going out onto the 3rd lap, Corbin, just passed us. So we're like, oh, okay, this is going to be fun here. And
yeah,
we battled with Caden for, 60 miles through just the gnarliest sun and dust. And, we said, oh, all right, well, here we go. Let's go grab that position we just lost. And sure enough, we got it before we hit the rock quarry. But, what we thought was going to be a good one was good up until,
it was good until it ain't.
Yeah, exactly.
Story.
I mean, that's the way it always goes, though. And we were just talking with Dustin Jones. I mean, like, the way that UTV racing or UTV desert racing, I don't know what you want to call it, but, dude, it's balls to the wall now. I mean, like, you got to mash the throttle basically the whole time to go through it. The cars are getting pretty reliable, which is nice. But, okay, actually, let's backtrack a little bit. So, Adrian, maybe you can tell us how the structure of the race team was for the weekend, what cars you had and what classes they were in.
So I ran 2 cars, both in the same class in the Pro UTV naturally aspirated, the NA class. Mine was 1985, which was the 4-seater that I run, the Cognito chassis. And then I actually bought back my 2-seater, the first car that I had. I got that back and ran that one in the same class. And Cynthia Guntier, she was the other driver for that one. So her and Daniel were in that car. And then Carl and Manny were in my car. So we started same class. She had her car. I had my car. It worked out pretty cool,
Yeah, it's pretty.
I've always.
It's cool to see because, like, I know that you've always wanted to have 2 cars out on the track. I mean, that's double the exposure for your sponsors, right?
Yeah. It's kind of a cool thing. I like challenging myself. So taking somebody that's never done desert races like that and training them and teaching them in 72 hours, teaching them what to do, how to do it, how to hit it, how not to hit it, all that stuff. It was definitely a challenge, logistics and all that stuff for 2 cars, personnel, all that stuff. So we pulled it off. Both cars got a top 10. So I couldn't be more excited. I mean, I could be a little more excited if my trans didn't, the whole little thing with that didn't happen. It'd be rad to be sitting behind Caden, but it's all right.
Yeah. I mean,
we'll do it again.
And you got to respect them too. Cause, those guys, the Wells boys, I mean, they put on a hell of a year, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So losing to them is not something that you should be worried about because beating them is what would really make a difference, right? Like, because those guys are just really, really insanely good right now. But But you guys did have a pretty good race going.
Yeah. I mean, we started, I think, third or something like that, and then we had a little thing happen in the first like 9 miles. We got lost along with like a bunch of other people.
Hang on a second here.
At the end of the first lap, we jumped back into like the top 5, top 4. Jumped back into like the top 5, top 4, and then just kept pushing. Had an awesome battle, one of the funnest battles I had all year for sure with Corbin. It was like coming into the pit, he would pass us or I would pass him, and then in the track I would pass him or he would pass me, just back and forth. So it was pretty fun. And then unfortunately at the end of the third lap, we heard a lot of noise coming from the back end. I'm trying to take the car apart, and figure it out. And then I pull into the pit, and one of our buddies found that there was a lot of oil coming out of the back. I mean, like steady stream. So he told me, he goes, "Hey, Adrian, you need to get out of your car, man, and look at this, And so I jumped out, and right away I just see a steady stream of oil just coming out. It was like a hole in the bottom of the trans from one of the skid plate bolts that actually punctured the trans on a bottom out.
Whoa.
So it was like a number 2 pencil eraser size hole on the dead center, like half an inch away from the drain plug. So it was like the worst possible spot. So we tried to do JB welds, self tappers, try to do, whatever we could to get it.
Everything MacGyver could throw at it, right?
Dude, yeah. And we had a spare trans, but we were trying to just keep it moving and just try to get to the finish with, one more lap to go. I had all the confidence. Cryo Heat is one of our sponsors, and that transmission is bulletproof with all the stuff he does. So I said, you know what? Screw it, man. Fill it up with 3 quarts of oil, put the car back on the ground, and let's get out of here.
Dang.
So that's what we did. And race mile 25, we started hearing it again. And the funny story is, I was like, man, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? I told Manny to actually open up his window net as we were driving safely. And he started breaking off branches. I told him, get some sticks and make sure they're green. So he got a bunch of sticks. I'm like, that one's not going to work. That one's perfect. Keep that one. And then we pull into the first pit, 25. And, I jump out of the car, I grab a couple sticks and I start sticking them in there, and one fits like really tight, start hitting it in there with a rock, and cool guys right there next to us, gave us some oil, put another 1.5 quarts in it, and took off, man. It survived. I mean,
no way.
Slow, yeah, so stick is, I wish I had the picture. Jason, Dusty Summit took the photos, but dude, the stick is still in there and there's oil everywhere. Yeah, it was a mess.
Dude, that's crazy. But it held up. Well, it probably barely leaked, but it held up so you guys could get to the finish.
Yeah. So we did the whole 4th lap with that, and knowing what the situation was, I was like, all right, I'm going to keep it like under 65, 70-ish, try to keep it slow, just not to blow it, on the lake beds or whatever it was. So,
yep.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Manny?
Fun.
We were doing 80 on the lake bed with the hole in the trans.
Dude, that's bananas, man. Were you just like when you guys are talking about it, you're like, get a stick, and Manny like, all right.
No,
yeah.
What do you like? He's like, hey, I got an idea. He goes, open your window net, grab some sticks. I'm like, what is going on? But okay, flump, 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 flump. Is this good? He goes, yeah, that one, right? Hold on to it,
dude.
Holding sticks.
That's crazy. And yeah, and you got to get the perfect one, because a brittle one would have sucked. Yeah, it's funny. Yep. He's like, hey, you got any bubble gum? Throw it on there, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, seriously. And that's what while I'm racing, that's what's going through my mind. I'm like, okay, it can't be a busted up bush because it's just going to break. It's got to be like green, so it's got some kind of, mold to it. So, yeah, we found the perfect one. I'm going to frame that thing. I'm going to frame that stick for sure.
Dude, that's so crazy, man. Well, yeah, kudos to you guys for making it home. Like, we always talk about this. Like, you got to MacGyver stuff in off-road no matter what it is. And otherwise, you guys would have just been sitting out there with your tail between your legs.
Yeah. We came into this race that both cars are finishing no matter what. Blown motor, trans, whatever. We wanted it. It's the last year of the race, so we wanted both cars to finish. So
yeah, and I mean the track was gnarly, the dust, all that stuff. We've talked about that a lot. But to go give a little bit of an overall, like you had 2 cars and both of them came home, right?
Yeah, both got top 10. Cynthia did the whole thing on her own. Daniel was Dr. Phil is what I call him. he was motivating her and just keeping her pushing because she's never done this thing. She's never driven for 10 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. So she's normally 60 seconds and done, with the monster truck. So it was good, man. I'm super pumped. All she did was get one flat driver error right off the start, and she didn't break anything else. And then my car, dude, it held together besides the tranny. I mean, no CVs, nothing. And I thought the first lap right away, seeing the pace and hearing from the pits and all that stuff that hey, Caden's this far in front. It's like, dude, this guy's just a rocket ship right now, man. This is lap 1. And this guy's just flying.
Dude,
We had to match it.
Yeah, he was flying. He set a good pace though, and if you could match it, you're a freaking winner in my book because he moved and you moved up through a lot of the turbo guys.
Yeah, dude, it's these NA cars, man. People ask me all the time, like, when are you going to go turbo? It's like, dude, it's these NA cars. I grew up with like Baja Bugs and 1.2 1600s, and that's what this car reminds me of, is a 1.2 1600 with A-arms. You could pin this car and never lift. As in turbo cars, I just raced the Baja 1000 with Justin Lampert the week prior, and you really got to roll the throttle, and you just got to be careful, The cars are substantially faster, but you could beat them up a lot more. So that's the cool thing about the NA cars, is that we just pick off turbo cars. We can't get to the top 5 or top 3, but you give us, other races and we can definitely get up there. We proved that at 1,000 last year. So
yeah, especially if the track suits it, right? All right. So what was some of the highlights while you were sitting in the car, Manny?
Some of the
Corbin battle.
Corbin battle for sure was one. The stick part was another one, and
that's next level.
Yeah, I'm not ever gonna get that one. And probably the sketchiest part of my 2 laps was when we were going the absolute slowest through the dust after the second pit at Gonzo Pit. We're in the dust trying to pass one of these buggies, and there was another UTV in front of us. We're trying to hunt that UTV down on the last lap, and we got real rocky up this hill and came up, and we kind of felt the car, leaning to my side. We're like, whoa, let's stop here so we can see. Put it in reverse. We start going down the hill a little bit more. Like, oh no, that's not working. Like,
dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I had deja vu 1,000 last year when we rolled on top of
it. Dude, oh my God.
Were you guys just teetering?
Dude, where the hail car rolled.
Yeah.
It was like a few turns before that, and it was like on the edge of a cliff, and we went off of it, and the car just started leaning. I'm like, oh, no, not again. And so we just like stopped for a second and just kind of put it in low and went. I was like, nope. The car started leaning. And then we put it in reverse and kind of found it. And
you just had to get that. You had to get that center of gravity position properly, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, so we had a few the Casey Highlights guys, and then Jason at Dusty Summit both said big KOH guy this year coming up, or what, dude?
There's a couple rumors that we're looking at it, so we'll see. We'll see.
That would be pretty cool to see you get out there, man. Dude, that's a whole nother form of racing, though, dude.
Yeah. I grew up with downhill racing, like downhill mountain bikes and all that stuff. So I've never really, I don't know, the rocks don't really bother me too much, and I can pick my way through them. But I'm in a desert car, and it's not KOH, so I can say that. But seeing some of the stuff at KOH, I'm like, if I can give the keys back to Polaris and say you can keep the car after, I'm all down. But
dude, that's not going to happen.
That car home.
Those cars when you bring them home are not pretty anymore.
No.
So both of you guys did really well. You guys come back from the race and you guys meet up back in the pits. Obviously, you're thanking your whole crew. You guys did fantastic. The guys in the pits, everybody. What's the whole vibe when you come back and you see Cynthia and you see all the guys from the crew, Manny?
It's rad, just to see them, and to see it. I was stoked to see Cynthia smiling. I thought for sure it was just going to be ruined, but she had a good time, and even after each lap that I got to see her before hopping in the car, she smile on her face, thumbs up with the cone on top of the car, screaming at us like, "Hey, move the cone! I can't see!" Like, don't move.
Yeah, just hang tight, girl. Just hang tight. Was she smoked like our buddy Scully here at the end, or was she doing pretty good?
Yeah, she was a little worked. It's a little different being in a car for 10 hours.
Yep.
And the 2-minute monster truck deal that she has to do. But no, she did good, man.
Did she say that she wants to come back, Adrian?
Yeah. She's definitely asking to see what we're gonna do next. I told her Mexico, but we'll see.
Big UTV girl, huh? Big UTV girl now. Dude, that's super cool, man. I know. Did you guys have pretty good tires and rims and all that stuff when you're out there too?
Yeah. Again, one flat with Cynthia, and you could see it because I always look at the tires afterwards, and she just barely nicked it on the inner sidewall, so she just hit a rock. But after that, it was nothing, man. No flats, no wheel damages, nothing like that. Yeah, it was a solid thing, man. I got to replace the front bumper, but
yeah, but
that's about it.
Dude, honestly, when I thought people were going to go out there, I was checking out the track a little bit, and I was like, dude, there's going to be so many smoked tires, but it's good that you guys were able to keep them going.
Yeah, no, it was definitely kind of a problem-free day until the end.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, now that you guys are back to reality, what's the next things that are going to happen in the near future with the race program?
With me, man, well, I think getting ready for next year, complete teardown of the car, and then KOH is next on our list right now to either go or race it, or we'll figure that one out. And then, I think we're going to go after a championship next year for score, and then still go after like the Mint 400 and Worlds and all that stuff. So,
okay, cool. So you got a full schedule then, huh? What about you, Manny?
Yeah.
With me, who knows? I know I'll be with Adrian for everything he's doing, and then as far as everything else, I'm not sure. My next thing right now is getting ready for I'm building a car right now. I got to have this thing done at the shop before I can head to Rage. So that's 3 races in 4 weeks. So
dude, you're nuts. Okay, so Jason just said let's boogie. I don't know who else is using those same words. Let's boogie. That's pretty awesome, Jason. Thanks for updating it. Matt, I got to try and have you join the live feed instead of the Instagram call, because we won't be able to have everybody else jump on Instagram. So, dang, Matt's blowing me up. All right, boys. Well, we really appreciate it, man. You guys are doing a fantastic job out there. Thank you to Fuel Wheels. Thank you to EFX Tires. Thank you to KMC, right?
All right, brother. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, George.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are killing it, dude. Keep going. I really appreciate you guys going out there and obviously introducing somebody else into the off-road world.
Yeah, definitely. The more the merrier. The more the merrier.
Yeah, exactly. All right, homies. We'll see you guys later.
All right, brother.
Later.
All right, so we're gonna try to get Matt Martelli on here again. Matt, I don't know if you can join the feed, but let me see if I can get you back on here. I'm going to invite you into the feed right now. It looks like you might even be watching it, or at least you're online. So hopefully we can get Matt on. We'll try again. That way you guys can hang out with him for a little bit and get to hear what he has to say, because he was the dude behind the scenes just getting things done, and we really appreciate him doing so much for the off-road community. There we go. Matt Martelli, what's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Good. Just completing my drive back from Vegas right now.
Oh my gosh, man. You've been out there doing so much work, dude. So I've talked with a bunch of people yesterday and today about their Mint 400 recaps. A lot of racers, a lot of families, a lot of teams, everybody just really excited and really pumped up. The vibes are super high coming back from the event. You put in so much work, but you still have a smile on your face, dude. It's pretty impressive to see that you guys were able to tackle it and come away with like I said, a smile.
Yeah, I mean, we love doing this. It is a lot of hard work, but, that's what off-road racing is about. It's, I'd be doing the same thing if I was racing it. It's the same thing. So, spent the last 2 days doing course cleanup, pit cleanup, going fixing some of the stuff on the courses with the BLM. So part of the deal, man. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. You guys did a fantastic job, dude. And I know that you guys put in months and months of work to be able to make it happen. But let me just give you 3 takeaways that I came away with from the event. there was so many drivers that loved the new race course, the dust, all of the technical aspects of it, just everything that the race course had to throw at them. They were fantastic. It was fantastic. And every single person loved the race course, right? The second thing is the broadcast. The broadcast was insane. Let's just take away the dudes that were sitting up there talking about it, because you made it easy for everybody to be able to view all of the stuff that was going on, the camera angles, the helicopters, the drones, all of the stuff that was on course. I got so many, I couldn't even tell you how many messages, hundreds and hundreds of messages saying this is exactly what off-road as a sport or as a hobby needs, because everybody was able to see the things that they want to see that they haven't been able to see in desert racing before, right? And then the third thing I want to say is that all the fans had such a great time because of all of the attractions that they were able to do, the BF Goodrich hospitality area and all of those things, man. Like, I didn't see anybody without a smile, man. It was so awesome. So kudos to you guys.
No, thanks. I mean, I'm always the front guy who gets a lot of the credit, but I have my brother, I have Killian, and then my entire team of people that work with their asses off, including, we had like 300 volunteers this year because we had multiple races going on at the same time. So, no, I appreciate that. I mean, the whole point of the Mint is that it's not a normal off-road race. It's an event.
Right.
And it's supposed to escalate off-road to the point where mainstream, people can find us, and realize how badass our sport is, how badass off-road racing is, and see the spectacle of it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. And just the little things that made things happen, like there was that, I forgot what you guys called it, but it was basically like a driver meet and greet, but where you had all the trophy truck, Class 1 cars, and everybody kind of lined up, and everybody could go out there and hang out with them. Caden Mack was saying that people were sitting in the truck taking pictures. Like, that doesn't happen in other motorsports, except for somebody just said it happens in monster trucks, but that's it, dude. Like, it's awesome that off-road can have that.
Yeah, our grid walk, we actually, to be fair, like we boosted that idea from IndyCar does it.
Oh, okay.
Let you touch the cars. They don't let you touch the cars like we do in off-road. Their cars are a little bit more delicate. But no, it's a cool idea that we saw, and we're like, man, this would be cool because there are some fans that don't make it to the off-road festival. And it's just, it's special to be able to go talk to drivers and co-riders or co-dogs right before they're going to race.
Yeah.
And get up and close and personal. That's how we, with the vehicles, I mean, that's how we build fans.
Yep. Dude, you couldn't have said it better. What were some of the things that, obviously you put together the whole event for everybody, but some of the things that popped up during the event that were meaningful for you?
I mean, to be honest, like, it's kind of like this crazy blur for me, and I'm still decompressing from it and going, okay, this was cool. This was cool. And certain things just keep popping up, but like, seeing the kids, take their podiums.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like, I know that a kid is going to have that experience and he's going to be an off-road racer for life.
Dude, 100%. And seeing all the big dogs too.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, I mean, all the different classes of vehicles, the how stoked the bike guys. I mean, as much as everybody loved the 4-wheel course, I mean, what we did this year with the 2-wheel course was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
It was pretty gnarly. And we knew that a lot of people would probably think it was too tough, but I think it's really important for us to not always do the same stuff, to keep changing it up and making it interesting. And next year we won't do the same course. We want to keep, mixing it up and keeping people engaged, because, if it's the same thing every year, like, what's the point?
Yeah, it gets super boring. I like that vibe, man. We talked with a bunch of people. Mitch was actually one of the Warfighter guys that made it through around the course. He said he felt kind of like our boy Scully over here after the race because he was so smoked. We talked to the guys that rode the mini bike. We talked to them a little bit earlier, and dude, everybody, the vibes are just so high. Like I still can't get over how pumped people were, dude. Like you guys did such a fantastic job representing the off-road community.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And like, that's what we're here to do. Look, we're not here to, just stay in place and kind of do the same thing that's been done in the past. It's, we're going to go try new stuff, and we'll make mistakes and we'll make corrections. But one thing I can wholeheartedly say is that, we're going to listen to the fans. We're going to listen to the racers. We're going to listen to the whole community, and, we'll take that feedback and we'll make improvements. And that's the beauty of events, is they're fluid. You do it one way one year and you learn from it, and then you change it the next year. So it's always going to be a work in progress.
Yeah, well, and you wouldn't be a good businessman if you didn't keep like thinking about what's going to be better the next year, right? So we actually had Richard Armstrong comment in, and basically said the same things and just in different words than what you were saying. He said, you guys, you boys highlighted your assets, and that's a big deal for the racers, their teams, and their families, keeping the next generation racers involved, something for all, just like Disneyland. Which is
absolutely.
Yeah, which is a fantastic way to put it. I mean, like, dude, we're middle-aged men, and we felt like we were at Disneyland for the last week, right?
Definitely. I mean, that's, you asked me earlier, like, what are the things that stick out in my head? I mean, a lot of them are these little moments of like looking over and seeing you and Ricky and Bob and Jim next to me, and then watching the footage that's coming in. And, like, I feel like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, dude, it was so crazy to see all that, right? Like, just being able to, and I mean, we even had a lot of top level people. Like, I think it was Andy McMillan sent in an Instagram post that was like, "This is exactly what off road needs." And when we're sitting there, like, I was thinking to myself, like, why couldn't we have this every single weekend? Like, how do we make it so that we can do this all the time and watch all this cool shit?
We can. It's just this is the step to that.
Yeah.
It starts with one event, and then it turns into multiple events.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it sounds like you just got home, buddy. I really appreciate everything that you did and your brother did and the whole crew, man. You had hundreds and hundreds of people out there working and helping you. I know that you had obviously some fantastic sponsors that were involved as well, but I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me just a little piece of, that success. It was really cool to be able to get the opportunity to go and talk with everybody about the off-road racing that we both love. So thank you very much for allowing me that opportunity.
Oh, it's no problem. I'm good. I'm all wired up because I've been in the car now for 7 hours, I think. A little traffic on the way back. So, but yeah. I mean, dude, I was stoked on the whole thing. And, like I said before, it's kind of a weird feeling. I guess it's a little bit like, once you're done with a race and, it's Tuesday and yes, that is beer.
Well deserved.
It's Tuesday and, you're like, okay, all you want to do is go back to racing. Right. And after an event, it's like, okay, cool. You feel like you've taken the biggest ass kicking in the world. And now I'm like bummed. You know what I mean? It's like post-race depression, right?
Yep.
Now I'm like, all right, let's start working on the next one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was telling a couple people in personal or private conversations, I was like, man, I have the biggest Mint 400 hangover of my life. And I'm like, you know what? This is the best hangover I've ever fucking had. Like, it's perfect.
Right. It's definitely like, just like racing, it's like you go into war mode and, like even when I sleep during the event week, it's like I'll sleep for 2 or 3 hours and then wake up and my brain's like, hey, did you do this?
Yep.
And So it's hard to get out of that. And then, it takes a little bit of time, but
Well,
it's awesome.
Now coming into the holidays, you can hang out with your family, take a little bit of break. Daniel Hunter actually commented in a few times. He said, if you need any help in the media stuff in March, he's available. So,
Yeah, just shoot me a message on Instagram or email. I'd love to take a look at what you're doing. We need a ton of people.
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah, same with volunteers. If you want to get the best seat in the house for, the Mint in March, just join us as a volunteer. Get involved.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fantastic event to be a part of. Like I said, but did you see some of the what do you call it? Post-race Instagram stuff. I'm sure you guys have been getting tagged in a lot of stuff and haven't seen everything. But what's been some of the individual stuff that you've seen that has kind of been like, wow, that was cool to see? Like maybe like for me, it was the mini bike guy. Like I love that guy. And then obviously there was a lot of other things that happened, like Mitch from Warfighter completing the race with his legs strapped to the back of the motorcycle. Like so many cool things. So what was cool for you?
Well, actually, it was a post that Jacob Argybright put up, and he came in second in bikes overall, and he's an amazing rider, and he's also him and his girl Meg run NHHA, so they're deep in it and they're great people. But the post he put up is he gave us props for basically putting together a course that was gnarly. And, he was really stoked to get the finish. Of course, he wanted to get the win, but, just, being able to podium and get the finish was, an accomplishment. And that's the balance we have as promoters is like, we don't want to make it so hard that people can't finish.
Right.
But we want to make it challenging, and we threw some stuff in even into the 4-wheel course this year, we knew was going to be questionable, and we had to make some changes during the race. So, but that's part of off-road racing is, we got to try stuff like that to keep it interesting and challenge everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And then, when it doesn't work out, you got to be able to adjust and be flexible. Dirty Donkey actually brings up a good point here. Thanks to the safety crew, they got to us so quickly. So we didn't mention that. I think we might have mentioned it yesterday, but thanks to David Nibris and all of his whole crew, man, because they did an insanely good job.
Absolutely. I had a guy call me, and he said that, he crashed on his bike, and he said it was less than 10 minutes. It was like, and he was in the truck, going back, and he was blown away. Same thing. I heard some stuff earlier, about broken vehicles, and same thing. Those guys are on it and they're passionate about what they do. And what's even funnier is I didn't know until after I saw the footage of it, but Kurt LeDuc was actually out there towing people out with them.
No way.
Yeah, so he actually towed out Jesse James. Jesse had a crash. He endoed his truck, and Kurt LeDuc showed up to tow him out.
Dude, that's so crazy. Yeah, and some of the stuff like that we've seen over the last couple days, just of people posting stuff on Instagram. Like, I didn't know that that's what happened to Jesse James during the race. He went end over end, and Dustin Jones just showed us a video, or Robert Campbell sent in a video that was just like dust and cars getting tangled up. I mean, there was so many different things that the track, I don't want to say provided, but gave to the drivers that they had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, like the race course really had a huge play in the event this year.
Yeah, and so did the dust. I mean, we knew at this time of the year.
Oh, look who just joined us, the Milkman Lachero. What's up, buddy? Great job winning.
Yeah, congrats. That's a huge win. I mean, we'll talk about that for a minute. I mean, it's always a little bit emotional for me because a lot of these guys are, friends of mine, and I know what they're going through in their careers and their life and how much it takes to come and do battle, and what it means to be successful here, especially at this race. And Rob is, he's our GOAT. He's the greatest off-road racer of all time. But I know he feels a sense of urgency to continue to win because he's getting up there in age, and there's a lot of younger kids that are, they want to make their mark, and he's the mark, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
So
and why you're saying that, I know where you're going with the conversation, but I just want to say, like, they do it as a family effort. I mean, Lechero, his son, like all of those people work on the car together. I mean, it's a whole family deal, and they're competing against these professional teams doing such a great job.
yeah, absolutely. And his girl does a fantastic job of organizing them all. So it is a family affair, but it's like one of those things where, like, anybody can win this race. I mean,
Right.
I don't know who's going to win. I thought, obviously concrete was a big player, and they had mechanical right away. Robbie Gordon had mechanical. Lofton had mechanical. So there's all sorts of things that just change and just change the outcome. But man, that was such an intense race. The back and forth between, really mostly Luke and Rob, but also some of the other top guys there. I mean, it was an intense race all day, and then how it came down to the wire, and then the drama of the rollover, and then the relationship between Rob and Luke, and how I sent Luke a text earlier today that I'm really proud that he is a representative of our sport and culture.
Dude.
Because
Yep.
that was like the way that he carried himself in this situation was all class.
100%. It's and Rob and Caden and Mark and everybody that was in those two organizations. It was really cool to see. I actually talked to Caden yesterday a little bit about it, and I said, I don't think that off-road has seen that type of connection with the fans and the community in a long time, and I'm very glad that they were a part of it, because it made me feel like I know these guys, even though we do, more than I did before. You know what I mean? And I can only imagine how people that aren't in a position where they can text Luke feel. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be a great thing for them to see.
Yeah, I was really proud of the moment, right? And it's this combination of things. It's like, I look out and I see this massive crowd at the finish line, and I'm like, dude, we've worked our asses off to get people to stay for the finish. It would drive me crazy when we would have finishes of this race and other races, and there's nobody there. And
yeah, people just dip out.
I'm like, people, like, this is the point. You got to stay. And so that was a victory. But also just how, both Rob and Luke carried themselves and how emotional they were, about the whole thing. And, I think that, it's really cool to see that, because it's real,
Yeah.
It's not some scripted thing. It's just wild. It's bonkers. It's just crazy all the way until the very end.
Yeah. Dude, just insane.
And then, that same thing is going on in multiple classes, and so you talk about the 6100 trophy truck spec class, and the guy who won, like, he's not, a big name guy, so winning this race is going to really propel his career.
Yeah, it's going to help his program big time.
On and on, all through all these different classes. But one thing I did want to mention too is that I was stoked on the mini bike too.
Dude,
he lined up and I saw him, and he looked at me and he kind of went, "Is this okay?" And I was like, "Hey, dude, you paid the fee, you signed the waiver, like." I think stuff like that's cool, to be honest with you. It goes back to the spirit of the Mint and off-road racing, and run what you brung,
Yeah, dude, 100%. He was telling us earlier, actually, like, so here's one. Here they are, right here, the Hapless Racing guys. But so he was telling me, he goes, they're like bikes that you can go buy at Tractor Supply, like just little bikes, right? It was like bone stock, and he's like, we put one. I think he said they put one at every single pit, just in case they needed to just trash it and get on the other one and go to finish the race. Like, how rad is it? Instead of putting a gas can, they just put another bike, right?
We should make them wear like a clown mask and like the wig, and just have that be like imagine if you crashed and you're in the middle of the desert and you're all pissed off.
Yep.
And a little clown comes riding by on a mini bike. That'd be so epic, right?
Dude, he said that they help guys like were crashed on their dirt bikes. They passed a few people. Like, dude, it's just insane. Like, it really, gives you a feeling like this is what off road is supposed to be like. Just go have fun out there, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you because we only got a couple more minutes left, but I was going to ask you two last questions. And one, what would be one thing that you change about the things that you did this year to make it better for next year?
That's a good question. I always look at stuff and sit down with my brother and Killian and kind of analyze everything. So, I think the only thing that I didn't like the way it went down is the youth racing, right? So like the youth racing, we created a new course for. I don't think we gave them enough attention. I want to make those guys the centerpiece, and we've been figuring it out. And what people have to understand is that we ran 5 races.
Yeah,
So
a ton.
we ran the limited race, we ran a bike race, we ran qualifying, unlimited race, and then a youth race, right? So it's difficult when you're running all those things. And I'm seeing the comments. So Chris, we only got an overhead shot of those of the youth racing. We plan on giving them more coverage in the future, but when the youth racing is going on the same time that we're doing the unlimited race and all our resources are allocated there, then that's what it is, right? So we plan on doing that more, and same with the bikes, right? Like I would like to give more coverage to the bike races as well. I see Dirty Donkey's in-car live footage. Yeah, so we have that technology. Costs a couple of bucks. Excuse me. So it's totally doable. I mean, everything is totally doable, and that's really what this is about. This is a situation of where we put our best foot forward and we showcase the world what we're doing, and then we improve on it. And
yeah, exactly.
That improvement is continuous. So yeah, we started the live in-car stuff a year and a half ago, by showing the in-car footage of Rob Mack, and we plan on doing that in the future. It came down to the wire this year, and we couldn't get any sponsors to bite on it.
Yeah, and that stuff's not cheap, guys. So everybody that's commenting in for that, second, third, I would love to see that. I'm 100% on board with you guys, but that stuff is very, very expensive, and it costs a lot to be able to have that come in. And like, let's just say you had live coverage for every single racer or every 10 out of every class or something. You got to space it out over more days too, because now you have more classes that are getting coverage and all of these different things. So it's a trickle effect. There's a lot that goes into all the questions that you guys are, or suggestions that you guys are having. Okay, so what was one of the positive things that you saw out of the whole weekend, or the most positive thing?
This one's a little heavy. And I didn't talk about it while we were there because I didn't want to freak people out, but we're very close with the police, and we're backing a racer, a friend, Sheriff Joe Lombardo, and his race for the governor of Nevada. He is a very good person. He's like a brother. And I think it's very important that we all work to get him elected and make some changes that need to be made, as well as being a huge racer and supporter of off-road. It will help us, right?
Yep.
But one of the things that happened, or that transpired to happening, was that the normal parking lot that we used to start the start of the parade downtown Las Vegas, down the strip, wasn't available. And so our other option was the Mandalay Bay Event Center, which was where the shooting was. And So we were effectively the first event that's happened in that parking lot since the shooting.
Wow.
And that was something that we chose to do because we think, we've got to shake it off and walk forward. And especially for our brothers and sisters in, Las Vegas Metro, and just showing them that, like, we're all in this together, and, one asshole isn't going to ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
So that was one of the most positive things that I felt all weekend. And then of course honoring John Langley, like having his two sons flank Joe Lombardo at the start of it, and honoring John Langley, like that was another one that, like, felt really good, and we wanted to make sure that that when somebody like him, that's part of our culture, is part of our community, passes, that he knows that, his family knows that they're not gone, they're not
No.
forgotten, they're always going to be a part of this culture.
Yeah, 100%. I love the way you're thinking about that. Mark McMillan, it looks like he just joined us too. I don't know if that's Luke's dad, if that's the same person, but all of the stuff that you're talking about right now is just reminding me of how good the culture is as a whole. You know what I mean? We all go out there and race our asses off against each other, fighting for position, doing whatever it takes, right? I mean, it's knockdown, drag out, like whatever it takes to do it, right? You come off, you're heated, somebody pissed you off, whatever it is. A lot of that stuff happens, but at the end of the day, there was so much positivity, and the community showed how much it cares about our sport in general. You got to be stoked on that going home when you're driving.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a huge narrative of our culture, is like, you have to be, you are a type of person who wants to do this, right? Like,
Yep.
Like when you really think about it, it's a very important thing. I talk about it all the time, the warrior class, right? Like, you choose to be uncomfortable, to spend your own money, to challenge your friends, your family. I mean, it's not a good thing for, taking the easy way. It's the opposite of that.
Yep.
And I think that that's really important to, to recognize, because we are, just by that action, just by you saying, you know what, I'm going to drive whatever 300 miles to Vegas, then I'm going to, race, and then I'm going to drive home, and it's going to require all these people, all this money, all these assets. That just puts you in a different category than normal human beings.
Dude.
And I think that's something to be celebrated.
Absolutely.
Especially in this day and age. So, I'm stoked on, the sportsmanship and the camaraderie that I saw out there. And then also, like, the hard-nosed racing, the battles, it reminds me of MMA. It's like these guys beat the shit out of each other for 5 rounds.
Yep.
And then they're like, okay, let's go have a beer. Like, they're hugging each other and showing each other respect. And that's exactly what off-road racing is as well.
Dude, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a really good way to end the live feed today, man. You did a fantastic job at the Mint, dude. Like, I couldn't have been more happy, like I said, to be a small part of it. And I think that you guys have had some awesome plans for the next Mint 400 that's coming up. So give us a little bit of an idea of what's going on in your world.
Well, I mean, March is going to be quick. So we're going to, I'm going to take a shower and then go right back to it. But no, it's, more of the same. We're going to tweak some stuff. We saw some stuff that we think we can improve on. And then we saw some stuff that worked really well. I really loved how qualifying turned out, especially because, we were able to jump, trophy trucks directly in front of people.
Dude, they were sending it.
And they were, the racers were sending it, and I was sitting in the crowd, listening to the crowd just go bonkers. And I'm like, this, we nailed it. Like, that is what it's about. Because if somebody sees that, they're going to go home and tell their buddies who love NASCAR, like, you haven't seen anything. You need to come watch NASCAR.
Yep, exactly.
And nothing against NASCAR. We want all those guys to come race with us. And but I just, there's certain things that we're always looking at how do we unlock the value of certain things? And qualifying was a big one. We typically qualified up at Apex, which, only the inside people know where it's at, and it's a great spot, but it's like spending all this money for qualifying and then nobody can see it. So
yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, just more improvements, more tweaks. Like I said before, racers, sponsors, fans, we're open for improvement. Like, believe it or not, like I look at a lot of the emails and things, constructive criticism, and I go, you know what, that's a good idea. I think we could implement that. Let's do that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm glad that you're open to all that stuff too. And man, I'm just, like I said, I'm just stoked on everything that happened, dude. You've made everybody's weekend, weeks, and all of this stuff. There's so many off-roaders that have a smile on their face now because of the things that you guys provided and the platform that you guys gave to the racers. So kudos to you guys, and please give a nice big handshake and a hug to everybody on your team for all their hard work.
I definitely will. I appreciate it. And thanks. Dude, you did a great job. Obviously, you and I had the marathon at UTV Worlds.
Yeah.
And so this was a little bit easier because we had a few other people helping us out. So, but I had a great time. You did a great job. I hope to have you back on, Mint again, in the box with me, and we'll keep building.
Dude, yeah, I'm stoked, dude. So, okay, cool. Well, let's see how it goes, man. Just keep on working and keep pushing. You're doing a fantastic job. I know you got a busy schedule with everything that's going on, so we're just stoked to be able to go off-road racing in these weird times. So keep it up, dude.
Thanks, brother.
All right, homie. We'll see you later.
All right, see ya.
Man, we got so much information today. Man, we're going on almost 3 hours now. So I'm going to take off. Scully's a little bit tired right now, so he's going to have to get some sleep. Thank you to Matt Martelli for joining us. Thank you very much to Dustin Battleaxe Jones, Dustin Henderson for joining us. Thank you to CJ, Tom, and Felix for joining us. We really appreciate those guys. Ruslan and John. Not Justin Smith. We had Ernie and Mitch joining us. Adrian and Manny Boy joined us. The only things I have left to say is we are going to Texplex on Thursday. We have the Texplex 12-hour race. It's going to be kicking off, I think, on Saturday. Lucero, love you, buddy. Congratulations. So join us, man. We're going to be hanging out at Texplex. Dustin Battleaxe Jones and myself are going to be calling the race. It's just going to be a good time. There's so much racing. If you can't go out to Texplex, you can always hit some of the racing here on the West Coast as well. Man, we love all the stuff that's going on. Thank you guys so much for the support. Tell all your friends to follow the Dirt Life Show. We want to keep talking off-road with everybody. Thank you for all the messages that you guys have been doing. We love you guys. Good night.
Thanks for listening to the Dirt Life Show.